a sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
Welcome back. Very tragic news coming in, and this is in regard to a middle-aged farmer who's died by suicide due to harassment, allegedly due to harassment by bank officials to pay back a loan that was taken by the farmer. So this is on camera. A farmer ends his life inside a bank. The farmer died by suicide due to he was unable to repay the loan, and he was being harassed allegedly for the repayment. He drinks poison, allegedly, is what is being said. Now, the BRS leader KTR is blaming Revant Reddy's government, while KTR has said that the daylight murder is because of the Congress government there. So, you know, of course, a war of words that has erupted with the opposition there attacking the government for the farmer to take such a drastic step. Let's just get you the very latest when it comes to Rahul Gandhi, the leader of opposition, who's facing fresh trouble now for his recent remarks about fighting the Indian state. An FIR has been filed against him in Assam. The complainant has alleged that the statement poses a significant threat to public order and national security. These are comments that were made during the inauguration ceremony of the Congress headquarters here in the national capital. My colleague Rathadeep has all the details.
Assam police has registered a complaint against Congress leader and leader of the opposition in parliament Rahul Gandhi after a youth in Guwahati has registered a complaint against him on Saturday. Now this complaint has been turned into an FIR by Guwahati police. This complaint has been registered at Pan Bazar police station of Guwahati, where the youth has accused Mr. Gandhi of crossing the line of free speech and creating a commotion, creating a situation of commotion in the state, and this is with regards to his speech made on the inauguration of the new Congress headquarters in New Delhi. Remember, in that speech where Mr. Gandhi had made comments on the comments made by RSS chief and ideologue Mohan Bhagwat, which has created a controversy of sorts already, and now in that particularly this the comment about fighting the Indian state has been highlighted in this complaint, where the complainant has accused Mr. Gandhi of trying to also create a confusion and trying to create a situation where there is commotion in the country, and therefore this complainant feels that this is beyond the purview of free speech and needs to be investigated. Now Guwahati City Police has already registered this FIR, and according to police sources, they have started the investigation in this case. Remember, this is not for the first time Mr. Gandhi has been booked in Assam or in Guwahati itself. In fact, only last year when the Bharat Joro Nyaya Yatra that started from Manipur was travelling through Guwahati, there were some commotions between the Congress supporters, leaders and the city police, and at that point of time, apart from several other Congress leaders, Mr. Gandhi was also booked in a case of violation of law and order, and that is still being investigated, and now you have a fresh FIR against him in Guwahati once again.
Right, and staying with the news when it comes to the centre versus the opposition, of course, here in the national capital in the upcoming elections, is the Aam Aadmi Party who's attacking the BJP, asking who really is their chief ministerial face, and that is what they have gone ahead and asked. Who is the BJP's Dulha? So that is the latest war when it comes to the national capital, the war of words and the war of posters here. In a poster where you can see, the Aam Aadmi Party attacking the BJP, really questioning as to who really is the groom. Groom as in who really is the chief ministerial face as far as the national capital is concerned. So that is the latest war of words with the BJP there asking the Aam Aadmi Party there asking who is the doula of the BJP, mocking that there is a, the Aam Aadmi Party there, that the BJP is, there is a wedding procession, but there seems to be no chief minister, there seems to be no groom, and that is the war of words and that war of posters. And we have my colleagues joining us. We have Shreya as well as Ishika joining us to get us more on this. Shreya, would you first take us through the details of this latest poster war that's come out?
Well, of course, we know they were gone are those days when rallies and posters used to dominate the pre-election season campaign. But right now we see with the growing influence of social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, we see political parties using it to their best benefit. They are using, movie posters and AI-generated memes to make pointed criticism towards the opposition, as well as engaging the voters, especially the youth. The last poster that I saw on their Twitter handle, which was basically a caricature of Mr. Amit Shah holding these big scissors with the backdrop of India Gate in the and with the caption that Delhiites should beware of the pickpockets, basically hinting that if BJP comes to power, then the existing freebies might get removed. Then there is this other meme video where we see two students in a exam hall with one desperately trying to copy the other, basically symbolizing how BJP's manifesto has been imitating, Aam Aadmi Party's welfare model, because we saw in the recent past BJP announced a slew of freebies, be it the 2,500 rupees for marginalized women, 21,000 financial assistance for women. So a similar, governance model as that of Aam Aadmi Party. Then we also saw, this as per the recent attack on Mr. Kejriwal, there is this picture of Mr. Kejriwal so-called shielding the people with a man pelting a stone at his car and Mr. Parvesh Verma cheering him on, and the caption goes like that the people's love is Kejriwal's shield, and he does not fear these cowardly attacks by BJP. And another very interesting one is, of course, this famous Bollywood movie Stree, the song Aina, that they have transformed into Kabhi BJP Delhi mein Aina, considering how BJP has been out of power in the national capital for the last 3 decades. So it's definitely, we are seeing several of these creative social media campaign content that is quite entertaining, but at the same time it's a very engaging way to woo the voters.
In the run-up to the elections, which will be held on the 5th of February, of course, the opposition there, and of course, the war that continues, whether it's the Aam Aadmi Party attacking the BJP for not really announcing its chief ministerial face, but it's also the BJP attacking the Aam Aadmi Party back, and of course, there we have, like Shreya was breaking it down for us, taking to social media, putting out these posters. Take us through this latest, while they sharpen their attack on each other, take us through the latest war of words.
Well, the war of words, in fact, has escalated between the two parties, and we are seeing it is not just on the ground or just, in the press conferences, but it is also on social media as well. And that is why we are seeing that as, the date for Delhi election nears, every day we see a poster war from both the sides, from both the parties, be it the BJP or be it the Aam Aadmi Party. Now, today, as you rightly mentioned, the Aam Aadmi Party yet again has released a poster questioning the BJP over the chief ministerial face in the Delhi election. Now, you can see very clearly in the poster that the Aam Aadmi Party has portrayed Amit Shah and JP Nadda carrying the entire weight, but there is no, in fact, Dulha, or rather the chief ministerial face for the Delhi election. Now, not just that, if you look at the other side, that is the BJP, they have released a poster calling, Arvind Kejriwal, the Aam Aadmi Party Supremo, a Ghoshna Mantri. Now, what they say here, the BJP says here, is that, every day Arvind Kejriwal wakes up and he makes a fake, announcement, a fake poll promise to woo the voters here. But in reality, he does not shows the report card over, his failed promises that he has made in the last year, or in fact, in the last elections. So this is what now the BJP has hit back at the Aam Aadmi Party. So certainly, as the war of words escalate, so does the war on social media with these poster wars between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party, and it is only set to intensify as the Delhi elections are just around the corner. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Ishika and Shreya, for joining us with all of those details. And moving on to some international news now, and this is in regard to Donald Trump, who prepares for his second presidential inauguration that's going to be taking place at 10:30 India time. The event is shaping up to be a bold preview of his foreign policy approach, and just hours before being sworn into office, Donald Trump promised to sign a host of executive orders on his first day as president while celebrating at a victory rally. So basically, he has gone on to talk about coming down heavily when it comes to the immigration rules, and of course the impact that India would have from this, and of course also the impact on trade when it comes to India. So there are big names who are going to be there as part of that inauguration ceremony, from world leaders to tech giants, all going to be there. But from what we're hearing is the event, that's of course, like we do know, has shifted indoors because on account of the weather situation, is now going to have about 400 people in attendance, literally, who all are really going to be there. Let's find out with my colleague Samya, who joins us.
President-elect Donald Trump is all set to be sworn in as the 47th President of the United States in a historic ceremony at the Capitol in Washington, D.C. The event will feature a star-studded lineup including celebrities, foreign dignitaries, and tech titans, marking the beginning of Trump's second term in office. So, what can we expect from this momentous event? For one, Mother Nature is throwing a curveball. The ceremony will now take place indoors due to a bone-chilling cold front sweeping through the Capitol. Instead of the usual outdoor setting, the president's inaugural address, along with other key speeches, will be delivered from the iconic rotunda of the U.S. Capitol. The inaugural parade will be held indoors at Washington's Capital One Arena. A global lineup of leaders is set to grace the inauguration, with Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, Argentinian President Javier Milei, and Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban among the prominent figures expected to attend. Chinese President Xi Jinping will not attend the ceremony, but is instead sending the Vice President as a special envoy. India will be represented by External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, while Japan's Foreign Minister Takeshi Iwaya has also confirmed his participation. All living former U.S. presidents will be present with their spouses, continuing a long-standing tradition. However, former First Lady Michelle Obama has chosen to skip the event, offering no explanation for her absence. Both female candidates who lost the race to the White House to Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton in 2016 and Kamala Harris last November, will be present. Some of the world's most influential business figures will be attending. Tesla CEO and staunch Trump supporter Elon Musk, Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos, and Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg are expected to be seated together. TikTok CEO Xiaozi Chu will join the high-profile guest list just as a nationwide TikTok ban takes effect. He's likely to sit alongside the tech mogul trio. Google CEO Sundar Pichai will also be making his way to the Capitol for the occasion. The ceremony will feature a lineup of iconic musical performances. Opera singer Christopher Machio will perform the national anthem. Country legend Lee Greenwood will bring the spirit of patriotism alive with God Bless the USA, and Carrie Underwood will sing America the Beautiful. With protests expected, thousands of federal agents, police, and other law enforcement will be on hand. President-elect Trump's inauguration is set to be a defining moment. As the world watches, the ceremony marks the start of a second term for Trump, setting the stage for what's to come in American politics. Samya Afsar, NDTV World.
The weather may be freezing in Washington, but President-elect Trump is fired up. He said that he's preparing more than 100 executive orders for his first day in office in a show of force that will set the tone for the next 4 years. Many are likely to reflect his pledges to bolster immigration enforcement and improve border security. And in major metropolitan areas, immigration raids could begin almost immediately as he follows through on campaign promises to deport undocumented migrants. And those jailed for their part in the January 6th attack on the US Capitol will be awaiting word of potential pardons from the new president. And world leaders will be watching to see if he begins executing his plans for tariffs, land grabs and ending wars. His inauguration ceremony will begin at 12 p.m. local time, but instead of the traditional ceremony on the steps of the US Capitol, it will take place inside the Capitol building because of these cold temperatures here in Washington. The guests include some of the richest and most powerful people in the world. Every living former president is set to witness Donald Trump's return to power. But some prominent Democrats, including former First Lady Michelle Obama and former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, are opting out. 3 of the world's wealthiest men will be there. Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos are expected to be among the major tech executives there, along with the chief executive of the imperiled social media app TikTok. President-elect Trump invited Chinese President Xi Jinping, but the country's vice president will attend on his behalf. Several world leaders who share Mr. Trump's ideology may also be there, including Argentina's right-wing populist president Javier Milei and Italy's Giorgia Meloni. Representatives from key US allies in the Asia-Pacific region will also be attending, including the foreign ministers of India, Australia and Japan. From punitive trade tariffs to mass deportations and ending wars, Donald Trump has promised a lot for his second term, and in a few hours we'll know just how much of this is set to happen on day one. Kate Fisher, NDTV, Washington.
Thank you so much, Kate. Of course, Donald Trump has pledged to fix every single crisis faced by America, and with historic speed and strength. And of course, he's also gone on to say that he's going to make everyone's head spin on the very first day as he takes charge of being the president of the United States. But what does this really mean when it comes to India? Now, Donald Trump's disruptive style has often redefined global diplomacy, whether it's threatening to make Canada the 51st state of the United States or proposing tariffs or his America First agenda. For India, the stakes are high, and while Prime Minister Modi's personal rapport with Donald Trump has bolstered ties, challenges continue to persist. With the United States being India's largest trading partner, concerns are there as far as tariffs are concerned, H-1B visa restrictions, and also the undocumented Indians. That also is a problem that looms large. Now, at the same time, strategic collaboration through the Quad and also cutting-edge tech initiatives like semiconductors and AI hold immense potential. But will Donald Trump 2.0 reshape this crucial partnership is the big question.
Donald Trump has never shied away from his disruptive approach. His sharp rhetoric and unconventional policies have often kept allies and adversaries guessing. From threatening to make Canada the 51st state of the United States to proposing tariffs on Denmark over Greenland, his tactics are anything but traditional. But what does this mean for India? India, under Prime Minister Narendra Modi, has cultivated a personal rapport with Trump. From Ahmedabad's Namaste Trump extravaganza to New York's Howdy Modi, these high-profile events showcased an unprecedented bonhomie. But is personal rapport enough to cement stronger bilateral ties? Economically, the United States is India's largest trading partner, with bilateral trade reaching $118.2 billion in 2023-24. But Trump's focus on America first could complicate matters. India faces concerns about high tariffs on exports, restrictions on H-1B visas, and the possible deportation of undocumented Indians. Trump's unconventional approach, often seen as a mix of bravado and bargaining, may bring both challenges and opportunities. for India, with deals like the GE-HAL jet engine partnership and agreements under Biden's administration. The groundwork for deeper collaboration is set. Will Trump's push for US companies to manufacture in India further strengthen this bond? Strategically, India remains a key player in countering China's aggressive posture in the Indo-Pacific. Trump 2.0's policies towards China will determine the depth of Indo-US collaboration in platforms like the Quad. Within 24 hours of Donald Trump's second-term inauguration, the US will host Quad foreign ministers, India, Japan, and Australia on the sidelines of the ceremony. This reflects on the Quad's central role in Trump 2.0's foreign policy and its focus on countering China's Indo-Pacific aggression.
Thank you very much. Mr. President, reaction?
Trump's immigration policies remain a double-edged sword. While H-1B visa restrictions may challenge Indian professionals, the influential 4 million-strong Indian-American communities continues to serve as a crucial bridge between the two nations. Technology collaboration is another frontier. Under Trump 2.0, initiatives like the ICAT agreement, focusing on critical and emerging technologies, could redefine India-US tech collaboration. From semiconductors to AI and quantum computing, the potential is immense. As the Trump administration prepares to rewrite the rules of global diplomacy, the India-US partnership stands ready as strategic partners shaping the future. With Rhythm Arcadia, Bureau Report, NDTV World.
As Donald Trump takes charge as the new president, the 47th president and the oldest president of the United States, while External Affairs Minister Jaishankar is in the United States to be part of that inauguration ceremony. He will be attending, but he's also gone on to talk about the profound consequences as far as the global order is concerned, throwing challenges as well as opportunities, as the incoming Trump administration could really impact India, particularly when it comes to trade as well as immigration rules. And with that, we're slipping to a very short break. Coming up a lot more on the other side. Thank you so much for watching.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
Well, I'm in Altadena. This is one of the worst hit areas. When disaster strikes, NDTV World brings you exclusive on-the-ground reports straight from the heart of the action.
A neighborhood in Los Angeles that has been devastated by fire.
I just received an emergency alert extreme, which has come on my phone. Stay tuned for NDTV World's in-depth coverage as we bring you the real stories from Los Angeles. This is the Altadena area, and there are still fires, and there's a lot of smoke in the area. These houses completely gutted. This is reporting that matters only on NDTV World.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
Mahakumbh, the festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at the spiritual Sangam, a sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
All set for Trump 2.0. Countdown to January 20th. Terror shadow, visa wars. All the twists and turns. Tracking Trump takeover. Every day at 10.
It's 10 a.m. You are watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Parmeshwar Bava. We've got an action-packed bulletin lined up for you over the next 1 hour with news from across the country and around the world. Let's begin with the headlines we're tracking at the moment. Mumbai police is likely to recreate the crime scene at Bollywood actor Saif Ali Khan's Bandra residence, where he was stabbed by an intruder. Israeli prison service has released 90 Palestinian prisoners from the West Bank region. The development comes as 3 Israeli women hostages returned to their home after Hamas handed them over to the International Committee of the Red Cross. The sentencing of Sanjay Roy, the convict in the RG Kaur Medical College and Hospital rape murder case, is set for today. A Kolkata court will announce the sentence, whether he would get life imprisonment or the death penalty. US President-elect Donald Trump will be inaugurated, taking the oath of office to formally kick off his second term in the White House. He is expected to sign 100 executive orders on day one. This includes imposing harsh immigration limits. And at Davos, the World Economic Forum, President has predicted India's growth at potential to reach 7 to 8% with the help of reforms. NDTV gets you the latest from Ground Zero. Well, breaking news we're tracking. A simple UPI payment for a paratha and a bottle of water might just be the most unexpected clue in a case that has shaken Mumbai. Police traced a Google Pay transaction to uncover a lead that eventually brought them face to face with Mohammad Shariful Islam, who's the man accused of attacking actor Saif Ali Khan in his residence. It took nearly 70 hours, a chase through dense mangroves, and a lucky second search before police finally caught the suspect. And a Mumbai court has now granted the city police 5-day custody of Shariful Islam Shehzad. While demanding the accused 14-day custody, police said the attacker was ruthless as he stabbed Saif Ali Khan several times, and they said they need him in custody to collect more evidence. We actually have a reaction from Saif Ali Khan's sister lined up for you. Here's what Soha Ali Khan had to say.
First, that we're very, very happy that he's recovering well, and we're very thankful, and we feel very blessed and grateful that it wasn't any worse. And thank you for all your wishes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
My colleague Anuj Raite has been tracking all the finer details for us. He joins us live from outside Leelavati Hospital at the moment. Anuj, do take us through Saif Ali Khan's current condition, and as we've been covering on breaking news, a UPI transaction for a paratha and a bottle of water was actually the crucial lead that led Mumbai police to the accused?
First about Saif Ali Khan's condition. Today is day 5 of him being at the Lilavati hospital, and on the second day itself we got to know that the nature of the injury is not as serious as many would have thought. Although the knife was very close to the spinal cord of the actor, it missed it by a whisker, to say the least, and that saved the life of Saif Ali Khan. In all likeliness, he will be discharged either today or tomorrow. From 10 a.m. till 11 a.m. is the time when Dr. Dange will do the regular checkup, and after that he will decide whether Saif is, healthy enough to be let go of today, or will he postpone it for tomorrow. The police investigation was a good mix of both human and technical intelligence. Right, for the 70 hours they were looking at the footage for not just last 2 or 3 days before the attack took place, but for 10 to 15 days across the major stations and across the major points here in the city. In the early hours of yesterday, they got hold of the prime accused from Thane. But the way they reached him is very interesting. He is a resident of Worli. He had been staying in Mumbai for last 4 to 5 months. The first police made their way to the Worli residence, and from there, of course, with the help of CCTV footage at the Dadar station, at the Bandra station, and of course a UPI payment being made by him, in the Worli area to have his breakfast on the 16th of January, on the day of the attack, gave the police a lot of important clues and helped them join the dots and eventually get hold of him from the bushes in Thane. Now, the police has taken has gotten a police custody for 5 days of the prime accused, and in these 5 days, several important pointers are to be checked by them. And one of the prime reasons and one of the prime things that they will be undertaking either today or tomorrow will be a scene recreation, because the most intriguing part of this entire case is how did someone who had allegedly never been to Saif Ali Khan's house in the upscale locality and neighborhood of Bandra, made his way through to Saif's house so easily, and even in an area which is considered to be highly secured as compared to the rest of the city. To understand that, the police will be recreating the scene in the Bandra residence of the Khan family. And of course, when Saif is discharged from the hospital, we can have a statement or police talking to Saif about the identity of the particular individual. What we also know, according to sources, is that this individual has accepted, or rather has confessed to his crime. But what the police will need is a stronger case, because we saw that the defense lawyer yesterday was very adamant about how the particular individual, the prime accused in this case, is just a scapegoat only because the individual involved, the victim here in this case, is a celebrity. So although the police custody or the police remand will extend for 4 more days, there are several important pointers which the Mumbai police will be looking at very keenly, before the 24th of January, when the prime accused will be presented in the court next time.
The mobile number that was linked to the payment, and how did it eventually trace back to Thane?
As I said before, it was the police first made their way to Worli, right? And from there, they found the place where this individual was living with several other people. And from them, they got to know the details about the places where this person had worked. Be it a pub, be it be it an agency or a contractor who had hired him, and he would work there on a contractual basis. This was not just in Thane or in Mumbai, places close by to that as well. And while on one hand the Mumbai police was tracking the details with the help of the CCTV footage that they had found earlier, on the other hand they were also trying to track the phone of this particular individual. What we know from yesterday is that the prime accused had switched off his phone while he was in the bushes, but the phone got switched on for a very brief period of time when he was making the payment. And because the technical intelligence team of the Mumbai police was keeping a very close eye on not just the movement of the person who looked like the prime accused in the CCTV footage, but were also tracking the phone number of that individual, which they had gotten from their from the people he was staying with in Worli very closely. So it was a marriage of both, as I said before, human intelligence and technical intelligence being used by Mumbai police, where they first used the statements or the interrogation of the friends or of the people with whom he stayed here in Worli, and then tried to keep a very close eye on the the movement of that individual on the basis of the CCTV footage and also on how active his phone number was. You know, it became active for a very brief period of time in Worli, where he tried to do a GPay payment after having his breakfast, and that gave a very strong clue and a direction to the Mumbai police, with which they managed to join the dots with the help of several CCTV footage across the city and found this particular individual in Thane, where there were close to 100 police officers or police officials present at that very point of time, where deep inside the bushes this individual was staying, and then he was gheraoed from all the four sides and had no other choice but to give himself to the police.
Thanks so much, first of all, for establishing the entire sequence of events for us as per what the Mumbai police officials have informed you. But how are police handling the investigation now that the main suspect is in custody? What's next in the case? We're hearing Mumbai police officials are likely to take the accused to recreate the crime scene at Mr. Khan's Bandra residence?
That is going to be the most crucial detail, because we see that, one thing that the police want to know is, has this particular person been to Saif Ali Khan's house earlier, right? He used to work for a housekeeping agency, and we know that there had been some sort of work that was done at Saif Ali Khan's house in the last 2 or 3 months. So did he in any ways make his way through to Saif's house earlier? He had been staying in Mumbai for close to 4 or 5 months, right? And he had said in his statement earlier that the sole motive of him making his way to Saif's house was for stealing something. But, when we look at the statement given by Kareena Kapoor Khan, there were some valuable things kept in the house when the attacker was inside, but he chose to attack Saif Ali Khan, and instead of taking that away. So was it a prompt reaction? Was it, was it an impulsive decision that he did for his own safety, or was it a well-thought plan? Also, when you talk about the statements given by the nanny, we see some sort of inconsistencies where, there was a demand, and allegedly a demand being made for rupees 1 crore, when he was approaching the room of Saif Ali Khan's younger son, that is Jaishankar Khan. So what exactly does that matter have to tell us? These are the pointers that Mumbai police will be looking at, because we also know that the fact that he is a Bangladeshi resident means that and also several leaders from the ruling dispensation have also talked about how the police needs to look at quote-unquote international conspiracy in this particular case, and how strongly is it in line with the investigation. But as of now, with the scene recreation, the police basically wants to understand how is it that Mohammed Shehzad made his way to Saif's house, and then of course on the other hand, simultaneously they are looking at international connections. They're looking at the actual motive of this particular case. Was it just robbery, theft, or something else to it? So there are multiple things and multiple aspects that the Mumbai police is looking at the very moment, but their primary concern is how did this prime accused enter Saif Ali Khan's house.
As always, Anuj, thank you so much for taking us through all the details. That's Anuj Raithee reporting live from Mumbai regarding the latest developments that have emerged in the attack on Saif Ali Khan. Do note the significance of the UPI transaction in cracking this case, as Anuj is also highlighting, and how it actually reflects the role of digital payments in modern investigations. With that, let's get you the latest from West Bengal. The sentencing of Sanjay Roy, the convict in the RG Kaur Medical College and Hospital rape murder case, is set for today. A Kolkata court will announce the sentence, whether he would get life imprisonment or the death penalty. Additional District and Sessions Judge Anirban Das has actually declared on Saturday that Sanjay Roy was guilty of rape and murder of a trainee doctor at the Kolkata hospital on the 9th of August last year. He was found guilty of sexually assaulting the doctor and strangling her. The judge said that the over 160-page judgment, which will be completed after the pronouncement of the sentence today, will also categorically answer some questions raised by the complainant, who's the father of the victim. We have a reaction from the CPIM lined up for you. Listen in.
जब सब लोग मान रहे हैं कि ये मामला एक जन का नहीं है, और फिर जब जो ममता बनर्जी अभिषेक कहा कि पहले दिन ही गोली मार दो, संजय को फांसी दे दो, एनकाउंटर में मार दो, तो फिर ये नौटंकी की जरूरत क्या थी? हजारों लोग, लाखों लोग, महिलाएं खास करके बंगाल में, पूरे देश में, पूरे विश्व में सड़क में उतरे इंसाफ के लिए। ये सियालदा कोर्ट से लोगों को इंसाफ नहीं मिला, चूंकि सीबीआई आगे नहीं बढ़ी।
My colleague Saurabh Gupta has been tracking all the latest developments for us. He joins us live at the moment. So Saurabh, Sanjay Roy's statement will be heard at 12:30 p.m. today, and the sentence will be given after that?
Yes, the arguments on the quantum of sentencing takes place today, and of course the accused, who's been convicted by the very court where the sentencing arguments will be heard, will also be given a chance to speak. That's what the judge Anirban Das had indicated earlier. Now, this is of course the Sialda Civil and Criminal Court. A sessions court here will be taking up the case at in the afternoon, and then of course the hearing will take place on the quantum of sentencing. The prosecution, we are being told, has decided to push for the maximum penalty in the case, which is the death penalty. Given that this was a heinous, brutal and horrific crime, and it does fall into the rarest of rare categories, which is the measure for awarding the death penalty in the case of a conviction of a heinous crime like the one that happened at the Arjikor Medical College and Hospital on the 9th of August. Now, obviously, accused and convicted Sanjay Roy will, of course, have a chance to speak, but he's said some things during the conviction and the verdict day, and he said that, he's pleaded, he said he's being framed, and from different quarters, like you heard, earlier, there has been a claim that more people could be involved, or the involvement of others in this case, and that there could be a cover-up. Those are the allegations that have been made. However, the evidence in the court that the CBI has presented and the evidence and the investigation that the Kolkata police have collected did not suggest the involvement of others. And so far, even the CBI investigation does not suggest the involvement of others, though the CBI continues to prove the destruction of evidence angle in this case. So obviously, if there is any such evidence, that's not there in the public domain. And for now, Sanjay Roy is the sole accused and the convicted accused in the crime. And of course, he's a convict now, so he will be sentenced today by the court. And like I said, the prosecution will seek the maximum punishment, which is the death penalty.
Always, Saurabh, thank you so much for taking us through all the details. We will, of course, revert you for regular updates from the court. With that, let's turn our attention now to battleground Delhi, to the political drama ahead of the polls in Delhi next month specifically. Well, the BJP and Aam Aadmi Party are at it again with new posters. It's the BJP's Ghoshna Mantra Jaib at Aam Aadmi Party's Arvind Kejriwal, where the BJP alleges that the Aam Aadmi Party makes the same announcement before every election and never fulfills their promise, something that they have been asserting time and again in the run-up to these polls. Aam Aadmi Party, meanwhile, asks who is the BJP's groom as far as Delhi is concerned. The Aam Aadmi Party, in this new poster, is asking who the BJP's Dhula is, something that they have also been reiterating in this campaign leading up to the election next month. Shreya Ghosh is tracking the latest developments. We will be joined by Ishika Verma in a few moments as well. Let's go across and get in a word from Shreya right now. Shreya, yet another dig by the BJP attacking the Aam Aadmi Party.
That's right. This war over posters has been going on for a long time now, and we know for a fact that BJP has been struggling to put up a face in Delhi to counter the first Sheila Dikshit and now Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, because they have not won a single Delhi Assembly election since 1998. Despite their dominance over national politics, we have seen that they have been fighting an uphill battle against Aam Aadmi Party's strong support base in the national capital. And right now we can see that BJP seems to be all set to fight the Delhi Assembly election without a chief ministerial candidate. And AAP has been taunting the BJP on this.
Right, while we reconnect with my colleague Shreya Ghosh, I must inform you that in the past, BJP has struggled to put up a face in Delhi to counter first Sheila Dikshit and now Arvind Kejriwal. Ishika Verma is also with us for a quick update at the moment. Ishika, the Aam Aadmi Party has been taunting the BJP on this issue, calling it a Bharat without a groom. But is this irking the BJP to release a chief minister name as soon as possible?
Well, as you rightly said, Parveshwar, the poster war here only escalating now with the Aam Aadmi Party only attacking yet again the BJP over having no chief ministerial face here in the Delhi election. And this is not, not something new. We have seen that from the very start of the campaigning of the two parties, Aam Aadmi Party has been attacking BJP over this issue. While on the other hand, if we talk about the BJP says that with the exceptions of one or two states, it generally does not in fact give a chief ministerial face before the election results. So that is what is the explanation from the BJP side. So certainly all of this taunting of the Aam Aadmi Party is not going to show any results, because the BJP is very clear that they are not going to release a chief ministerial face here in this election. Now, apart from that, if we focus on on the posters that have been released today, first of all, we talked about the Aam Aadmi poster. Now, if we go to the BJP poster, BJP has attacked yet again the Aam Aadmi Party Supremo Arvind Kejriwal, calling him a Ghoshna Mantri. Now, this attack is over the poll promises that have been made by the Aam Aadmi Party Supremo. Here, the BJP alleges that every day Arvind Kejriwal wakes up and decides to make a fake poll promise announcement rather than giving report card over all of those promises that he made in the last election and has not been able to fulfill. So certainly the poster war also escalating as the elections are just around the corner. Over to you.
Thanks so much, Ishika, for joining us with that update. Well, as you can tell, it's the Aam Aadmi Party versus the BJP again with a new set of posters. It's the BJP's Ghoshna Mantra Jaib versus the Aam Aadmi Party asking the BJP who their groom is, who their chief minister face is for the upcoming polls. Ishika, we know that the Delhi chief minister, meanwhile, in the last few hours has also alleged an attack on Arvind Kejriwal's car actually being linked to the BJP.
Well, we did see, Parmeshwar, that how in fact, both the parties only escalated attack over each other over the alleged attack on Arvind Kejriwal's vehicle. In fact, on one hand, it is the BJP which alleges that it was Arvind Kejriwal's car which in fact hit some of the volunteers, or rather, residents who were questioning Arvind Kejriwal over his, over his promises in the last election, and that is why Arvind Kejriwal signaled his driver to go and hit, those people who were asking this question. So this is the allegation from the BJP side. On the other hand, it is the Aam Aadmi Party who's saying that it was an attack on the Aam Aadmi Party Supremo's vehicle by the BJP volunteers. So this is what the Aam Aadmi Party says. They are linking these people as BJP volunteers. So certainly the police has said so far that, that there is, only some kind, it was a small instance, not such a big issue. Nobody was hurt in this entire incident is what the police is saying. But certainly both the parties only intensifying their attack on each other. Over to you.
Thanks so much, Ishika, as always, for clarifying the details and also taking us through the latest developments. Well, let's turn our attention to the other crucial story we're tracking. A middle-aged farmer died by suicide due to harassment by bank officials over loan repayment in Telangana over the weekend on Saturday. Now, BRS Working President K.T. Rama Rao has alleged that the Congress government is responsible for the farmer's suicide due to the loan burden. My colleague Uma Sudhir has been tracking the latest developments for us. She joins us live with the latest update on this story. Uma, reports state that the farmer consumed pesticide at the premises of a private bank and died by suicide. Could you confirm?
So that's what Mr. K.T. Ramarao, BRS working president, has tweeted on X. He has put a post on X where he has shared the CCTV footage from the bank, where he says that this farmer was feeling very stressed out because of the outstanding loans and because of not receiving any of the benefits that were promised by the Congress government before coming to power. And subsequently also they have been saying that they have extended loan waiver as well as other benefits like Raitu Bharosa, which is a farmer assistance amount. But the BRS working president says that this debt should directly be blamed on the Congress government here for failing to support this farmer through the stress. BRS leader Mr. Harish has in fact said that more than 400 farmers have died by suicide in the last 1 year of the Congress government, and they are saying that because farmers have not received the right to Bharosa, which was one of the 6 guarantees promised by the Congress, that 15,000 was meant to be paid, but they have scaled down the amount, saying that we are paying 12,000 rupees, and they say that there is not even 50% coverage of the farmers, and that is a claim that is being made by the government. The second part of it is, of course, is loan waiver as well, and other support services to the farmers. This entire battle that is playing out, political battle, in a sense, talking about the farmer distress, while the BRS is blaming it on the failure of the Congress government to provide the guarantees that they had promised during their run-up to the elections. The Congress government, however, is saying that this farmer had died because of certain personal reasons, that he had a tiff with his wife, and he was had drunk alcohol, and he was, of course, having outstanding loans. But they are blaming this largely on a domestic dispute that happened, after which he had died by suicide. Back to you.
As always, Uma, thanks so much for taking us through the details. Well, let's switch tracks now. Rahul Gandhi, the leader of the opposition, has landed in trouble over his recent remarks, where he stated, and I quote, that the BJP and RSS have captured every single institution, and we are now fighting the BJP, the RSS, and the Indian state itself. Now, an FIR has been registered against him in Assam's Guwahati, and the complainant, Munjit Chetia, alleged that Mr. Gandhi's statement crossed the limits of permissible free speech, and it actually poses a serious threat to public order and national security. Sunil Prabhu and Ratnadeep Chaudhary bring you the latest from New Delhi and Guwahati, respectively. Listen in.
Well, this is not the first time that there has been an FIR against Rahul Gandhi. He's even faced defamation cases. So this will be one more, as they say, an FIR or a defamation case. In fact, even today, the Supreme Court is hearing a defamation case against Rahul Gandhi. So this will be just one more for his legal advisors and for him to battle. Of course, it's not sure whether this technically comes under the ambit of the fact that under what it has been registered in FIR. We'll have to wait and see what the Assam police does and whether it takes cognizance of it, because this definitely impinges on a little bit on free speech. But we'll wait and see how things play out in the next few days. At present, this is one more FIR against Rahul Gandhi, and we'll see how it plays out in the next few days.
Assam police has registered a complaint against Congress leader and leader of the opposition in Parliament, Rahul Gandhi, after a youth in Guwahati has registered a complaint against him on Saturday. Now, this complaint has been turned into an FIR by Guwahati police. This complaint has been registered at Pan Bazar police station of Guwahati, where the youth has accused Mr. Gandhi of crossing the line of free speech and creating a commotion, creating a situation of commotion in the state. And this is with regards to his speech made on the inauguration of the new Congress headquarters in New Delhi. Remember, in that speech where Mr. Gandhi had made comments on the comments made by RSS chief and ideologue Mohan Bhagwat, which has created a controversy of sorts already. And now in that particularly this the comment about fighting the Indian state has been highlighted in this complaint, where the complainant has accused Mr. Gandhi of trying to also create a confusion and trying to create a situation where there is commotion in the country, and therefore this complainant feels that this is beyond the purview of free speech and needs to be investigated. Now, Guwahati City Police has already registered this FIR, and according to police sources, they have started the investigation in this case. Remember, this is not for the first time Mr. Gandhi has been booked in Assam or in Guwahati itself. In fact, only last year when the Bharat Joro Nyaya Yatra that started from Manipur was travelling through Guwahati, there were some commotions between the Congress supporters, leaders and the city police, and at that point of time, apart from several other Congress leaders, Mr. Gandhi was also booked in a case of violation of law and order, and that is still being investigated, and now you have a fresh FIR against him in Guwahati once again.
Well, with that, let's turn our attention now to Jammu and Kashmir. Authorities have ordered the sealing of a spring in which they said they found traces of some pesticides or insecticides at a Jammu and Kashmir village where 17 people have died of a mystery illness that has spread panic among residents. Now, on the deaths that are reported from the Budhal village due to a mysterious illness, the Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir, Manoj Sinha, has said the health department there and other departments also conducted an investigation into it, but the correct facts could not be ascertained. Meanwhile, Union Home Minister Amit Shah has also constituted a committee of experts, and the team has arrived on ground zero, is what we are being told. Listen in to what the Lieutenant Governor had to say.
जम्मू कश्मीर प्रशासन के हेल्थ डिपार्टमेंट और बाकी डिपार्टमेंट ने भी जांच की अभी सही तथ्यों का पता नहीं लग पाया है। कल गृह मंत्री जी ने भारत सरकार के विशेषज्ञों की एक समिति विभिन्न मंत्रालयों को मिला करके बनाई है, वो टीम आ गई है। मैं समझता हूं कि शीघ्र ही कारण क्या है ये पता चल पाएगा। पुलिस ने भी जांच के लिए एक एसआईटी बनाई है ताकि दूसरे पक्ष पर भी विचार किया जा सके, उसकी भी जांच ठीक से हो सके।
As far as global headlines are concerned, our top focus remains the inauguration of Donald Trump's second term in office. Well, hours before he will be sworn into office, Trump has promised to sign a host of executive orders. We're hearing at least 100 executive orders on his first day as president while celebrating at a victory rally. Trump has promised that he's going to bolster immigration rules and limit immigration plans. That's all. We'll wait to see all that happens as far as this inauguration is concerned. But Trump is preparing to reshape the federal government like no modern president before him. His administration plans to dismantle the so-called deep state by stripping job protections from approximately 50,000 federal employees through an executive order on his first day in office. The plan, known as Schedule F, would allow political loyalists to replace career employees in key positions. Now, what are the critics saying? Well, they have warned that this move could spread fear among federal workers, while unions say it undermines government independence. Trump's team, by the way, has already requested the resignation of senior diplomats, signaling the start of sweeping changes. Meanwhile, as the clock ticks down to Donald Trump's inauguration, one thing is certain. With Donald Trump in the driver's seat again, nothing will be business as usual. Here's how Trump 2.0 is likely to deal with global conflicts and security. Listen in.
What started off as unlikely, impossible, is now reality.
President-elect Donald Trump's return to the White House ushers a new and volatile era.
Our country, and we will make America great again.
Especially when it comes to Washington's trade and immigration policies. Over the past 2 months, even before taking office, Trump has vowed to make big changes, from imposing massive tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and India to offering to acquire Greenland and the Panama Canal. Trump first began his expansionist claims with the US immediate neighbor Canada, trolling Prime Minister Justin Trudeau by stating Canada would love to be the 51st state of the US, to which Trudeau responded harshly, saying not a snowball's chance in hell Canada would join the US. Trump's offer to take over Greenland through a purchase or by force, calling a necessity for Washington, evoked a sharp response from Greenland's leader, stating that the future of the territory was their business, while France too extended its support to Greenland, stating that the EU will not nations attack its sovereign borders. Trump's return is set to start a tariff war between Washington and its major trading partners, particularly China and the EU and others. The president-elect has vowed to slap a 25% tariff on imports from Mexico and Canada, top US trading partners, for failing to stop the flow of drugs and undocumented migrants into the United States. Trump has threatened to impose a 60% tariffs on Chinese products and has also threatened India with reciprocal tariffs after accusing New Delhi of abusing the trade ties between the two countries. He has also threatened the EU nations of significant tariffs unless the bloc significantly increases its purchases of US oil and gas. Trump 2.0's biggest focus will be on the estimated 11 million undocumented migrants. Reports suggest that raids to detain and deport migrants living in the US without permission are set to begin on the first full day of President-elect Trump's new administration. He has also vowed to end birthright citizenship, calling it ridiculous. In India, all eyes are on the Trump administration's policies on the H-1B visa program, which caused a fierce war of words between Elon Musk, Trump's key ally, and his populist far-right MAGA voter base. President-elect Trump returns to the White House stronger than ever before. Time will tell what will be his last legacy. As of now, markets world over are bracing for uncertainty. Bureau Report, NDTV.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
Hello and welcome to the best of the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland.
For 2 decades, NDTV has been a window to the world's greatest thinkers, leaders, Nobel laureates and stars at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland.
From Bill Gates to Shakira to Randy Zuckerberg to top ministers to what is often the biggest story, India, a global economic powerhouse. Conversations around our greatest challenges, from AI to wars to sustainability. Join us, NDTV's Vishnu Shom and me, Neeraj Shah, as we engage with the world's finest. NDTV at Davos from January 20th to January 25th.
All set for Trump 2.0. Countdown to January 20th. Terror shadow, visa wars. All the twists and turns. Tracking Trump takeover. Every day at 10:30 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
We are able to maintain the democratic fabric and the democratic system.
I want to do something that can make a difference.
लगातार जनता की आवाज को सरकार तक पहुंचाने का काम मैं करता हूं.
I was a student up until very recently. I really want to work and do something for my people because they have given me this opportunity. They have elected me.
सोचा नहीं था कि राज्यसभा सांसद बनूंगी.
Mahakumbh, the festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at the spiritual Sangam, a sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
Attention, please. Delhi Election Metro 2025 is arriving on People's Platform. Please mind the gap. BJP or AAP, who will get to the Delhi Secretariat station?
दरवाजे बाईं तरफ खुलेंगे.
Who will Delhi voters open the victory doors for? And who will be shown the door?
Well, the World Economic Forum president and CEO has predicted India's growth has potential to reach 7 to 8% with the help of reforms. And on whether India's target of becoming a developed nation by 2047 is realistic, Mr. Brende said India will be a $10 trillion economy soon. And what also works in the interest of India is that trade is now pivoting more towards digital trade and services. Here's what he told my colleague Vishnu Shom.
India has a huge presence at the WEF every year, and one of the primary themes, of course, is growth. You would have seen the latest numbers. India just under 7%, but among large nations and growing nations, it is still quite formidable. So how would you look at the India growth story first up?
So India has a great potential, and it is still growing pretty well, maybe 5.5–6% this year. But there is no reason why India cannot pick up again and do 7–8%. Of course, provided that there are reforms when it comes to investments, reforms also in infrastructure, reforms in investing in education and R&D. We do expect that in a few years, India will be 20% of the overall global growth.
Yeah,
that is quite incredible. And what works also for India is the enormous strength in startups. There's more than 120,000 startups in India. I think is more now than 120 unicorns. So that ecosystem, I think, is the basis also for future growth.
India has targeted 2047 to become a developed nation. Do you believe that's realistic? Do you believe it can be achieved?
I think India will be a $10 trillion dollar economy pretty soon. What also works in the interest of India is that trade is now pivoting more towards digital trade and services. That's growing 3 times faster than traditional goods. And these are areas where India is very strong.
You've come out with lots of fantastic reports in the last couple of weeks. You do this every single year ahead of the World Economic Forum annual general meeting. You deal with the future of employment and jobs. What are some of the key challenges or opportunities that you see with greater digitalization of the workforce?
So it's increased productivity, and productivity is like producing more with less resources. And of course, this will challenge some jobs that are back offices today or other jobs. But if that can lead to people moving into areas where you produce higher up in the value chain, you can pay better, you can produce more, and that's prosperity. So for India, there are, of course, huge opportunities when it comes to the new technologies. But short term, it also creates challenges because one has to upskill and reskill people.
Well, as Donald Trump prepares for his second presidential inauguration, the event is shaping up to be a bold preview of his foreign policy. In fact, in a break from tradition, a host of foreign leaders, including right-wing populists like Argentina's Javier Milei and Italy's Giorgia Meloni, will be in attendance. And this international guest list signals a significant shift away from the defiance that marked his first term and towards a growing global deference, as many analysts point out. But what does this mean for the future of global diplomacy under Trump's leadership? Well, here's our report on what to expect, followed by my colleague Kate Fisher's report from Washington, D.C.
President-elect Donald Trump is all set to be sworn in as the 47th President of the United States in a historic ceremony at the Capitol in Washington, D.C. The event will feature a star-studded lineup including celebrities, foreign dignitaries, and tech titans, marking the beginning of Trump's second term in office. So, what can we expect from this momentous event? For one, Mother Nature is throwing a curveball. The ceremony will now take place indoors due to a bone-chilling cold front sweeping through the Capitol. Instead of the usual outdoor setting, the president's inaugural address, along with other key speeches, will be delivered from the iconic rotunda of the U.S. Capitol. The inaugural parade will be held indoors at Washington's Capital One Arena. A global lineup of leaders is set to grace the inauguration, with Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, Argentinian President Javier Milei, and Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban among the prominent figures expected to attend. Chinese President Xi Jinping will not attend the ceremony, but is instead sending the Vice President as a special envoy. India will be represented by External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, while Japan's Foreign Minister Takeshi Iwaya has also confirmed his participation. All living former U.S. presidents will be present with their spouses, continuing a long-standing tradition. However, former First Lady Michelle Obama has chosen to skip the event, offering no explanation for her absence. Both female candidates who lost the race to the White House to Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton in 2016 and Kamala Harris last November, will be present. Some of the world's most influential business figures will be attending. Tesla CEO and staunch Trump supporter Elon Musk, Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos, and Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg are expected to be seated together. TikTok CEO Xiaozi Chu will join the high-profile guest list just as a nationwide TikTok ban takes effect. He's likely to sit alongside the tech mogul trio. Google CEO Sundar Pichai will also be making his way to the capital for the occasion. The ceremony will feature a lineup of iconic musical performances. Opera singer Christopher Machio will perform the national anthem. Country legend Lee Greenwood will bring the spirit of patriotism alive with God Bless the USA. And Carrie Underwood will sing America the Beautiful. With protests expected, thousands of federal agents, police, and other law enforcement will be on hand. President-elect Trump's inauguration is set to be a defining moment. As the world watches, the ceremony marks the start of a second term for Trump, setting the stage for what's to come in American politics. Samia Afsar, NDTV World.
The weather may be freezing in Washington, but President-elect Trump is fired up. He said that he's preparing more than 100 executive orders for his first day in office in a show of force that will set the tone for the next 4 years. Many are likely to reflect his pledges to bolster immigration enforcement and improve border security. And in major metropolitan areas, immigration raids could begin almost immediately as he follows through on campaign promises to deport undocumented migrants. And those jailed for their part in the January 6th attack on the US Capitol will be awaiting word of potential pardons from the new president. And world leaders will be watching to see if he begins executing his plans for tariffs, land grabs, and ending wars. His inauguration ceremony will begin at 12 p.m. local time, but instead of the traditional ceremony on the steps of the US Capitol, it will take place inside the Capitol building because of these cold temperatures here in Washington. The guests include some of the richest and most powerful people in the world. Every living former president is set to witness Donald Trump's return to power. But some prominent Democrats, including former First Lady Michelle Obama and former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, are opting out. 3 of the world's wealthiest men will be there. Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, and Jeff Bezos are expected to be among the major tech executives there, along with the chief executive of the imperiled social media app TikTok. President-elect Trump invited Chinese President Xi Jinping, but the country's vice president will attend on his behalf. Several world leaders who share Mr. Trump's ideology may also be there, including Argentina's right-wing populist president Javier Milei and Italy's Giorgia Meloni. Representatives from key US allies in the Asia-Pacific region will also be attending, including the foreign ministers of India, Australia and Japan. From punitive trade tariffs to mass deportations and ending wars, Donald Trump has promised a lot for his second term, and in a few hours we'll know just how much of this is set to happen on day one. Kate Fisher, NDTV, Washington.
And Ray Locker's also with us for further clarity. As always, Ray, thanks so much for making time for us. Do you agree with the statement that ahead of his second term, much of the world is actually bowing down to the incoming US president?
I wouldn't say bowing down, but they're far more accommodating than they were 8 years ago. I mean, 8 years ago, Trump won the election through the Electoral College, but lost the popular vote by almost 3 million votes. So many people saw that as a fluke. This time around, there's no denying he got the most votes in the 2024 election. He won the Electoral College, so he should be duly elected and duly sworn in as the president tomorrow. Um, and so there are some people who are apprehensive about what he will do because during his first term, he threatened many companies like Amazon, like Meta slash Facebook, said that they were unfair to him and other conservatives. So there's a degree of trepidation that people have, and they're hoping to mitigate that by giving money to his inauguration fundraising campaign and by appearing with him tomorrow.
But Ray, you think this time around, foreign leaders are also more accustomed to Trump's transactional nature? In fact, some diplomats are saying that as far as the invite is concerned, no one's going to laugh this off because they all need things from Trump.
Well, the United States is still the dominant country in the world, and he is the incoming president of the United States. So you ignore him and the United States at your peril if you're a leader of another country. You have to deal with us. I mean, you might not like it, but you have to. And so I think people saw what happened when he was president the last time. They know what his sweet spots are. They know how to get things from him. They know he likes to be flattered. And so they'll do that again. I mean, you look at India and Narendra Modi, that's what he did during the first Trump presidency, and I think we'll see it again.
But Ray, just on that note then, do you believe this transactional diplomacy is a sustainable long-term strategy, or does it actually risk creating unstable international relationships, especially based on short-term gains?
Well, I think it's a bad thing. I mean, you know that you can buy off Trump. You know that you can get to him in certain ways. I mean, you saw that in his first term. He owned a hotel right down the street from the White House. Foreign leaders would stay at his hotel. They would have events there. They could get to him there, and they got what they wanted. And that's an ethical nightmare. And people who like Trump don't care, may not like to hear people say that, but it's true, and it diminishes the presidency.
Ray, as always, thanks so much for making time for us and joining us on NDTV. Always a pleasure to hear your views.
My pleasure.
The other crucial story we're tracking, a temporary ceasefire to end 15 months of fighting in Gaza began on Sunday, marked by the release of 3 Israeli hostages held by Hamas. The Israeli military also started pulling back from key positions in the region, while some displaced Palestinians began returning home. However, this initial phase of the truce is expected to be tense. As many analysts and senior journalists are arguing, the situation is fraught with challenges, with 3 far-right Israeli cabinet members resigning over the deal and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu facing pressure from hardliners to actually resume the war. Meanwhile, Hamas has framed the ceasefire as a victory. Some have warned that the deep-rooted hatred between Israeli and Palestinians has only intensified, suggesting a complex and uncertain future ahead.
Romy Gonen, who turned 24 in captivity. Romy was dancing with friends at the Nova Music Festival when Hamas terrorists invaded and attacked the festival, massacring and abducting young people from around the world who were celebrating peace, love, and unity. Emily Damari, who turned 28 in captivity. Emily, a dual Israeli and British citizen, was abducted by Hamas from her quiet home in Kibbutz Kfar Aza. Terrorists shot and killed her dog and dragged her into Gaza. And Doron Steinbacher, who turned 31 in captivity. Doron, a veterinary nurse who brutally abducted from her home in Kibbutz Kfar Aza, was still in her pajamas.
Vishal Vivek has been tracking the finer details for us. He joins us live at the moment. Vishal, given the resignation of these 3 far-right Israeli cabinet members and the pressure on Netanyahu to restart the war, how likely is it that this ceasefire will actually hold? What are analysts saying about the key factors that could influence the stability? What are we picking up on?
So as far as the ceasefire is concerned, it's divided into 3 phases. We are so far into the first phase. The first day is over. And as you know, it just in the 3 hours that the ceasefire was delayed, Israel continued to bomb Gaza. So that shows you the scale of the operation that Israel has in Gaza. And as far as the phase 2 is concerned, it remains to be seen, because far right ministers, as you mentioned, have resigned. But there are some ministers that have stuck on. They want to continue, and they have said that they would resign only if Israel proceeds with the phase 2 of the ceasefire deal. So phase 2 will also have 42 days. And if Israel continues that ceasefire in those 42 days, some ministers are expected to resign again. So that could mean the fall of Netanyahu government, and Netanyahu wouldn't want that. So far, he had delayed the ceasefire deal based on that only. These are reports saying. So we'll have to see what happens after 42 days. So far, the ceasefire deal remains steady. It remains to be going on. And what remains to be seen is that how these ministers respond after 6 weeks. That's when the main action would happen, and the permanency of the ceasefire could be hampered.
As always, Vishal, thanks so much for breaking down the details for us.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
Well, I'm in Altadena. This is one of the worst hit areas.
When disaster strikes, NDTV World brings you exclusive on-the-ground reports straight from the heart of the action.
A neighborhood in Los Angeles that has been devastated by fire.
I just received an emergency alert extreme, which has come on my phone.
Stay tuned for NDTV World's in-depth coverage as we bring you the real stories from Los Angeles.
This is the Altadena area, and there are still fires, and there's a lot of smoke in the area. These houses completely gutted.
This is reporting that matters only on NDTV World.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
Mahakumbh, the festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at the spiritual sangam, a sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.
All set for Trump 2.0. Countdown to January 20th. Terror shadow, visa wars. All the twists and turns. Tracking Trump takeover. Every day at 10:30 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
Hello and welcome to the best of the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland.
For 2 decades, NDTV has been a window to the world's greatest thinkers, leaders, Nobel laureates and stars at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland.
From Bill Gates to Shakira to Randy Zuckerberg to top ministers to what is often the biggest story, India, a global economic powerhouse. Conversations around our greatest challenges from AI to wars to sustainability. Join us, NDTV's Vishnu Shom and me, Neeraj Shah, as we engage with the world's finest. NDTV at Davos from January 20th to January 25th.
All set for Trump 2.0. Countdown to January 20th. Terror shadow, visa wars. All the twists and turns. Tracking Trump takeover. Every day at 10:30 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
We are able to maintain the democratic fabric and the democratic system.
I want to do something that can make a difference.
लगातार जनता की आवाज को सरकार तक पहुंचाने का काम मैं करता हूं.
I was a student up until very recently. I really want to work and do something for my people because they have given me this opportunity. They have elected me.
सोचा नहीं था कि राज्यसभा सांसद बनूंगी.
Mahakumbh, the festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip and the spiritual sangam, a sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage.
Saif Ali Khan is expected to be discharged from the hospital, the Leelavati hospital, where he spent the last 4 to 5 days. He is expected to be discharged soon. On the other side, the Mumbai police is planning to take the attacker to the residence of the actor in order to recreate the crime scene. In the Gaza ceasefire deal, 3 Israeli prisoners have been released. They have been reunited with the family, and in exchange, well, Israel has released 90 Palestinian prisoners hours after those 3 Israeli women were released. Murder case, the quantum of the punishment as far as Sanjay Roy is concerned, that is going to be decided today, and that announcement is expected this afternoon. And Donald Trump will be sworn in as the 47th US president. He will be signing 100 executive orders. He's also gone on to say that he will make heads spin on his very first day as he takes charge as the president of the United States all over again. NDTV at the World Economic Forum, and it's the president of the World Economic Forum that has said that India will be a $10 trillion economy, and that's expected soon. We get you everything from the World Economic Forum with my colleague Vishnu Shom. A very good morning. You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Divya Vava. We have news on Saif Ali Khan, and that is the actor is expected to be discharged from the hospital. Do remember that he has been at the Leelavati hospital over the last 4 to 5 days, and now the doctors have given a green signal, and it is a matter of time before Saif Ali Khan gets discharged from the hospital. His family has started to arrive at the Lilavati hospital, and it's just we can expect that the actor will be home soon. But on the other side, it is the Mumbai police that is expected to take the attacker to the residence of the actor in Bandra in order to recreate the crime scene. To remember, the Mumbai police was granted 5 days of police custody of Mohammad Islam Shehzad. The police had asked for 14 days of custody, saying that the attacker is ruthless and that they needed more time in order to investigate the matter. And that is what they had really asked for. Well, the actor, good news on the front as far as the actor is concerned, that he is expected to be discharged today. How long will it take as far as the paperwork is concerned is a matter of time, and that is when the actor today will be discharged from the hospital. And let's just listen into what the family members are saying about him.
First, that we're very, very happy that he's recovering well, and we're very thankful, and we feel very blessed and grateful that it wasn't any worse. And thank you for all your wishes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
And what really led the Mumbai police to the attacker was supposedly a UPI transaction that led to the attacker's arrest. The arrest took place on a Saturday, late night as far as Saturday is concerned, almost 70 hours after the shocking attack on the actor, which left Saif Ali Khan injured in multiple places. It's believed that a UPI payment for a parantha and a bottle of water at a stall close to the Century Mill in Worli is what really led to the arrest of the attacker. And to know more on this, we have Anuj joining us. Anuj, first get us a health update. From what we're hearing is that Saif Ali Khan could be discharged from the hospital anytime soon, and that, but what really are the plans? Because the Mumbai police is still continuing with this investigation, so most likely Saif Ali Khan is not going to be going back to that residence in Bandra, because that's where they're going to perhaps be recreating the crime scene.
You see, this is day 5 of Saif being at the Lilavati hospital, and yesterday when we were speaking to the doctor made it clear that, the authorities there, the health officials there will look at the condition of the actor in the morning and then decide whether to give him a green signal to get discharged from the hospital today or tomorrow. But in all likeliness, it is expected to happen by the end of the day, given that the paperwork gets done in time. Now, when you talk about the police investigation, there are two angles that the police are primarily looking at this very moment. While on one hand, they are trying to establish or understand how is it that a Bangladeshi national not just made his way through from the Bangladeshi border to the Indian side and stayed here for 5 months as an illegal immigrant, but also to understand how is it that he made his way through to this really posh neighborhood and on the 12th floor of a neighborhood, of a locality which is relatively considered to be relatively safer than the rest of the city. And to understand that better, we are expecting a scene recreation to take place with the help of the accused, who will be in all likeliness brought here, at any point of time in today's proceedings. Now, earlier it has been recorded and stated that he used an AC duct and then he entered the house using a washroom, window. But how exactly did he do that is what the police will be looking at this very particular moment. Now, when this attack took place, when this incident happened on the 16th of this month, after that for close to 70 to 75 hours, the police were looking at several people who resembled the person who was captured in the CCTV footage. But then, they followed a very interesting pattern to get hold of this particular individual from the bushes of Thane, right? When this incident took place, of course, he was moving from one place to the other, right? From Bandra, he went to Dadar. From there, he bought a few equipment for himself. He got a set of earphones, and from there, he went to Worli, where his residence is in Mumbai. And from there, he again went to Andheri and then to Thane, where he was eventually caught near the Hiranandani estates. But what helped police understand or get more information about him was a CCTV footage dating back to the 9th of January from DN Nagar in Andheri. That is where the police saw a biker dropping off this accused. And, when the police got details of the biker with the help of the bike number, and that is where they found a major clue about the contact of this particular individual. And then it was easy for them to track him, given that he had made GPay payments on a couple of occasions. And with the help of that, they used technical and human intelligence to spot this particular individual in Thane. But as of now, today, the priority will be to get Saif out of the hospital, But more importantly, as you rightly said, will he be brought here, given the fact that there is a high chance that a scene recreation might take place in today's hours as well? And will the police try and bring the victim, that is Saif, and the attacker in any sort of contact for more information about what exactly happened on the 16th of January? Will be interesting to see.
Right, of course, Anuj, literally it was UPI that has, helped the police nab the culprit, the accused here. Take us through, the custody as far as the Mumbai police is concerned that started yesterday is only for 5 days. They've, of course, been saying that they need more time. They'll ask for 14 days in order to question him and to, connect the dots. So far from what we're hearing is, the way he entered, what was really his motive, how did he zero in on the actor's residence, and many questions that remain unanswered at this point in time. Take us through what is it that we really know as far as his background is concerned, and with the opposition they're really attacking the government in regard to the infiltration of illegal migrants.
There are a lot of things to look into this. Firstly, keeping the official word in mind, from what we know is that this individual is a 12th failed individual from Bangladesh who came to India, looking for a job. He was an unemployed individual who very badly needed 50,000 rupees, for which he tried to steal some items or money, and that is how he made his way to Saif's house. And what he has said is that he did not know that this house was of a Bollywood celebrity. But all of those things will be scrutinized. But yesterday, when the police was seeking for a 14-day police custody of this individual, they put forth some important points. They talked about how they need to know who were the associates of this individual in Mumbai and in Bengal who were trying to help him get, cross the border and come in India. He had been staying in Mumbai since September of last month and last year, and that is a good 5 to 6 months of period, right? What was he up to, right? He would have made several friends, he would have made several associates. Was there anything else that he has done in this particular point of time? Because we also know that he's changed his names on multiple occasions. Was it done, for any genuine purpose, or was it done only to mislead the police when it comes to them trying to attempting to catch him, when once things went wrong here after the incident that took place at Saif's home? All of these things will be looked into, but police has gotten only four more days, if you think of it from today, to really understand and get a lot of these points clear, right? On an official note, they will put forth these pointers on the 24th, when the individual will be presented in the court once again.
Right, thank you so much for joining us, Anuj. We will keep tracking the story, and for what we know so far is that Saif Ali Khan is expected to be discharged from the Lilavati hospital. Like Anuj was mentioning, he's been there for the last 5 days since the attack that took place in the wee hours of Thursday morning at about 2:30. Do remember that he reached the hospital in an auto rickshaw with his son Taimur and another gentleman who took the help of an auto rickshaw as a driver to reach the Lilavati hospital. It's a distance of about 2 kilometers, and Saif Ali Khan has been there. Of course, family members gathering at the hospital in order to get the actor discharged. But the big question being, where will Saif Ali Khan go from there, considering the fact that the matter is still under investigation, and today is the day when the accused, the suspect in the case, is expected to be taken to the residence of Saif Ali Khan in Bandra in order to recreate the crime scene. So days perhaps before the family can actually return to their house in Bandra. But of course, good news on the front of the actor is expected to be released from the hospital, expected to be discharged from the hospital today. And let's just get you the latest as far as the RG Kar murder and death case is concerned. We're talking about the sentencing of the accused Sanjay Roy, who has been convicted in the RG Kar College and Hospital rape and murder case. That sentencing, the quantum, it will be decided by the Kolkata court today, and that will be announced this afternoon. Do remember, Sanjay Roy, a civic volunteer who has been convicted of raping and murdering a trainee doctor at the RG Kar Medical College and Hospital in August of last year. While the family of the victim continues to claim that there were more people involved, they've repeatedly said that this couldn't have been a one-person's job. The mother of the woman, a doctor, says that the case is not complete and it will only be completed after others who were involved in killing their daughter is punished. She's gone on to say that they'll wait for that day, and up until that day, they won't be able to sleep. The judgment, of course, was pronounced nearly 2 months after the in-camera trial that commenced in November of last year, and 162 days after the heinous crime was committed on the 9th of August in 2024.
जब सब लोग मान रहे हैं कि ये मामला एक जन का नहीं है, और फिर जब जो ममता बनर्जी अरविंद से कहा कि पहले दिन ही गोली मार दो, संजय को फांसी दे दो, एनकाउंटर में मार दो, तो फिर ये नौटंकी की जरूरत क्या थी? हजारों लोग, लाखों लोग, महिलाएं खास करके बंगाल में, पूरे देश में, पूरे विश्व में सड़क में उतरे इंसाफ के लिए। ये सियालदा कोर्ट से लोगों को इंसाफ नहीं मिला, चूंकि सीबीआई आगे नहीं बढ़ी।
In the run-up to the elections that will be held in the national capital on the 5th of February, well, it's the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party taking jibes at each other yet again, and with another poster war. It's the BJP's Ghoshna Mantra jibe, while the Aam Aadmi Party is really asking that who is the groom. They're obviously referring to the chief ministerial candidate as far as the BJP is concerned. They're saying, why is it that they haven't named who will be running for the position of the chief minister? So, of course, they are saying that the BJP is a wedding procession, but with no groom. So, you know, that poster war that really continues. And to know more on this, we have my colleague Ishika joining us. Ishika, take us through this latest war of words and this latest poster war between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party.
Well, Divya, you know, as the date for the Delhi polls nears, the poster war between both the parties, that is the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP, only escalating now. Now, today also both the parties have in fact released a poster, giving, jibes at each other. Now, first of all, if we look at the BJP poster, they have called the Aam Aadmi Party Supremo a Ghoshna Mantri. Now, here they allege that the Aam Aadmi Party Supremo, Arvind Kejriwal, every day he decides to make one fake poll promise announcement rather than giving a report card over all of his alleged misgovernance, or rather, governance failures of all the promises that he had made in the last election. Now, if we go on to the Aam Aadmi Party poster, certainly this is not the new poster that they have released. They have here again questioned the BJP over having no chief ministerial face for the Delhi election. In the poster, you can see how, they have portrayed Amit Shah and JP Nadda and then put a question mark. So certainly this drive of Aam Aadmi Party is not new, but the BJP in response continues to say that with an exception of 2 to 3 states, BJP generally do not in fact comes up with a chief ministerial face in any state election. So that is, the response also that we are getting from the BJP sources. But certainly the poster war only escalating ahead of the Delhi elections. Over to you.
Right, thank you so much, Ishika, for joining us with those details. But of course, staying with news as far as the Delhi election is concerned, what is it that the voter here in Delhi really want? What is it that they really are looking for? Are they expecting a change this time around? What is it going to be? As far as the poll promises are concerned, could health be a deal breaker when it comes to this election? My colleague Tanushka finds out.
Established in 1951, I'm at Khan Market, a U-shaped double-storied complex set amid the bungalows of everyone important in Delhi, where the who's come for shopping and for their exquisite food experiences. This is a hub of the elite in Delhi. The question here really is whether or not the elites here actually aware about the election issues and how much do they really care about the ground issues from their air-purified homes. Let's find out. The iconic marketplace named after Khan Sahib, the then Chief Minister of Northwest Frontier Province, now in Pakistan, was originally built to house refugees in the heart of New Delhi. Now, Khan Market resonates of old bookstore charm and mainly high-end stores and opulent restaurants.
The biggest issue that all Delhiites are facing is air pollution, and it seems to be worsening year after year. I think Yamuna is so dirty, and that is going to impact Delhi's water supply. It is already doing that.
There was a time when every alley and street had light. Basic, okay? And as it is, Delhi is known as a crime capital, it's not safe. And what do? You go ahead and you have more potholes and no lights. I mean, how does it pan out for women? That's a very big concern. And the second concern is, where are the offices in Delhi? We used to have some offices in Delhi around central Delhi. Now everything is moved to Gurgaon and NCR.
The work has not been done, which was promised, and things are given like a freebies. Okay, finally we as a taxpayer, it's going from our pocket only. There is nothing freebies in the world. So for what reason are we giving these freebies? Just to gain votes? So I don't think so. This is a good way of approach.
Offering the option of sifting through hundreds of books lying in haphazardly lined shelves, Fakir Chand bookstore stands strong in Khan Market as the oldest shop in this upscale South Delhi area.
Spread over 90 acres and situated between the posh Khan Market and the Lodi Road, Lodi Garden remains a popular spot for Delhiites for their early morning walks and for some much needed fresh air. The urban voter base in this area and their concerns remain somewhat the same. And some bring about new issues as well to the forefront, such as disability rights and how friendly is the city in these terms.
My father just turned 85. He is a 1939 born. He wanted to avail the facility of voting from home, which was just initiated by the government. We approached the officers, we approached the toll-free number, and when we gave them the details, they said he is 84 and not 85. But even apart from the certificate given by the government hospital, even apart from the fact that I have all the documents proving him that he is 85 plus, neither the BLO, neither the ARO, nobody is willing to help us. They said we cannot change the system, I'm sorry.
सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आई वांट कि जो भी गवर्नमेंट आए उसको ओवरऑल हेल्थ और फिटनेस को लेके लोगों की उसके लिए बहुत कंसर्न रहना चाहिए. जैसे कि पार्क्स बनवाए हैं, बहुत लिमिटेड पार्क्स हैं आसपास आप देखोगे सोसाइटीज़ के अंदर, तो उस पर फोकस होना चाहिए. जिम बना के छोड़ दिए गए हैं, ठीक है, ये जो ओपन जिम आप देखेंगे पार्क्स के अंदर, लेकिन उनको मेंटेन नहीं किया गया है.
Problem is when it's time for election, they all come, and they're at our doorsteps pleading with us. हमारे भाई भी बन जाएंगे, हमारे रिश्तेदार भी बन जाएंगे, सब कुछ हो जाएगा. But when it's time to deliver, they are not there.
Khan Market and Lodi Garden areas are the top elite areas in New Delhi. However, the issues here also echo the same. Civic and sanitation, women's safety and law and order remains at the top of the mind of the voters here. The common theme here is also that the voters are against the freebies culture that all the parties are meeting out at this point. The citizens here talk strongly being against such freebies, and they say, how will this bring in good governance? Whichever party comes into power in the incoming elections, how are they going to ensure that actual work is being done instead of giving out freebies on taxpayers' money is what the voters ask here. With camera person Gopal, this is Tanushka Datta for NDTV.
Thank you so much, Tanushka, for getting us a sense of what is it that the voters really want this time around. And switching tracks now to Uttarakhand. Uttarakhand is all set to implement UGC. Well, that is what Uttarakhand Chief Minister announced as far as the implementation of the Uniform Civil Code that will start this month. The state has completed its preparations, including a dedicated portal and mobile application for online services. While the Chief Minister said that the state had really done its homework for the implementation of UGC and that Uttarakhand is set to become the country's first state to implement this after independence. He instructed the officials to ensure proper training as far as the personnel are concerned, besides arranging all kinds of basic facilities to implement the provisions of the code. He also asked the officials to keep the maximum service online to avoid any chance of inconvenience when it comes to the public. And to know more on this, we have my colleague Kishore joining us. But first, let's listen in to what the Chief Minister had to say.
हमने ये वायदा किया था कि हम सबसे पहले सरकार बनने के बाद पहला काम करेंगे, यूसीसी का विधेयक लाएंगे. हम यूसीसी का विधेयक लेकर आए और उस पर सभी ड्राफ्ट कमेटी ने ड्राफ्ट बनाया, विधेयक पास हुआ, राष्ट्रपति महोदय की मंजूरी मिल गई, एक्ट बन गया. एक्ट बनने के बाद प्रशिक्षण की जो प्रक्रिया है वह भी हमारी लगभग पूरी हो गई है. और आज माननीय मंत्रिमंडल में इस बात पर हमने चर्चा करी है कि जल्दी से जल्दी हम उसका डेटों का चूँकि सारी तैयारी होने के बाद, चूँकि भारतवर्ष में सबसे पहले यूसीसी लागू करने वाला राज्य देवभूमि उत्तराखंड बनने जा रहा है, तो सभी चीज़ों की समीक्षा करने के बाद हम जल्दी ही डेटों का ऐलान करेंगे।
And Kishore joining us to get us more on this. Kishore, of course, we just heard the Chief Minister. So the state is all geared up in order to implement the UGC. And of course, their Uttarakhand Chief Minister will soon be announcing that date.
बिल्कुल, आज की जो कैबिनेट बैठक हुई थी उस बैठक में यूसीसी की जो रूल और रेगुलेशन की कमेटी थी उसने जो ड्राफ्ट बना के दिया था उसको मंजूरी दे दी है। अब जल्द ही, अब चूंकि मुख्यमंत्री ने कहा था कि 2025 के जनवरी के महीने में इसे लागू किया जाएगा, 11 दिन जनवरी के महीने को रह गए हैं और संभवतः ये हो सकता है कि 26 जनवरी या 27 जनवरी को इसको लागू कर दिया जाए, क्योंकि प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी 28 जनवरी को 38वें नेशनल गेम का उद्घाटन करने आ रहे हैं। हो सकता है कि उससे पहले प्रधानमंत्री को एक तोहफा दिया जाए कि यूसीसी को लागू करने वाला उत्तराखंड पहला राज्य बन जाएगा। और इसको लेकर मुख्यमंत्री ने जो इशारा किया है कि 26 जनवरी को इसे लागू किया जाएगा। कुल मिलाकर रूल और रेगुलेशन की कमेटी ने अपने जो सेक्शन होते हैं, जिस सेक्शन के नियम के अनुसार जिस जो उन्होंने चीज़ें तय की है, जिसमें चाहे वो गोद लेने का अधिकार हो, इसके अलावा बेटियों को संपत्ति का अधिकार हो शादी के बाद भी, इसके अलावा लिविंग रिलेशनशिप के लिए भी एक रेगुलेशन बनाया गया है, किस सेक्शन के अंदर ये पूरा काम होगा, उसको लेकर एक बड़ी एक्सरसाइज चली थी 3 महीने तक। अब ऐसे में ये जो रूल और रेगुलेशन की कमेटी का जो नियमावली थी उसको कैबिनेट ने मंजूरी दे दी है और जल्द उत्तराखंड पहला राज्य, आज़ादी के बाद पहला ऐसा राज्य बन जाएगा जो यूसीसी कानून को लागू करेगा। और इसकी जो डेट है, अभी तक जो जानकारी मिल रही है, वो 26 जनवरी को उत्तराखंड इसको लागू करेगा। जी,
Right, thank you so much, Kishore, for joining us with those details. Switching tracks to more news, and that is a middle-aged farmer who died by suicide due to alleged harassment by bank officials over loan repayment. That is the visual of a very heart-wrenching CCTV video showing the farmer committing suicide there in Adilabad. This is something that's triggered a widespread outrage as far as the Congress governance is concerned. So many accusations being levelled by the opposition, especially by BRS, against the Congress party in regard to the harassment, the alleged harassment that the farmer has faced due to the repayment of a loan that perhaps he had taken, and which is what led to him trying to take his own life. And that is the drastic step that the farmer took. Well, let's just listen in to, of course, the details that my colleague Uma has said.
So that's what Mr. K.T. Ramarao, BRS working president, has tweeted on X. He has put a post on X where he has shared the CCTV footage from the bank, where he says that this farmer was feeling very stressed out because of the outstanding loans and because of not receiving any of the benefits that were promised by the Congress government before coming to power. And subsequently also they have been saying that they have extended loan waiver as well as other benefits like Raitu Bharosa, which is a farmer assistance amount. But the BRS working president says that this death should directly be blamed on the Congress government here for failing to support this farmer through the stress. BRS leader Mr. Harish has in fact said that more than 400 farmers have died by suicide in the last 1 year of the Congress government, and they are saying that because farmers have not received the Raitu Bharosa, which was one of the 6 guarantees promised by the Congress, that 15,000 was meant to be paid, but they have scaled down the amount, saying that we are paying 12,000 rupees, and they say that there is not even 50% coverage of the farmers, and that is a claim that is being made by the government. The second part of it is, of course, is loan waiver as well and other support services to the farmers. This entire battle that is playing out, political battle, in a sense, talking about the farmer distress, while the BRS is blaming it on the failure of the Congress government to provide the guarantees that they had promised during their run-up to the elections. The Congress government, however, is saying that this farmer had died because of certain personal reasons, that he had a tiff with his wife, and he was had drunk alcohol, and he was of course having outstanding loans, but they are blaming this largely on a domestic dispute that happened, after which he had died by suicide. Back to you.
Thank you, Uma, for getting us those shocking details, and switching tracks now to Rajasthan, and this is in connection with the bird flu alert in Jaisalmer. Now, the rise as far as bird flu cases are concerned, there's been a rise to 32 birds who have been found dead. Do remember that the cranes were infected with the bird flu that have been the cause of death. That is what the report that has in fact confirmed the death. As far as those migratory birds are concerned, the cause has been bird flu, and now that number has increased. So to get more details on this, we have my colleague Harsha joining us. Harsha, take us through the kind of spread that we are seeing as the number of deaths of the birds, the migratory birds are concerned, that has gone up. Now, from what we are hearing is there 32 birds who have been found dead. The cranes have been infected with the avian flu, and this is being detected in migratory birds. So there's been a rise as far as water ponds are concerned. There's an effort in order to protect the species, and there's quite an alert that is being put out and measures that are being taken in order to curb the spread as far as bird flu is concerned. So the concerned authorities there taking all measures in order to ensure that they can curb. Do remember that this was, there were an investigative report from a lab in Bhopal that just last week revealed that the cranes that had been found dead recently in Jaisalmer had died due to bird flu, and now that number of birds that have died due to bird flu has increased. Harsha joining us. Harsha, get us the details of the extent of spread as far as bird flu in Rajasthan is concerned. Now the number of cases that are being reported, that number has risen to 32.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, it's a huge source of worry because, these demoiselle cranes are migratory birds, and they have been found dead over the weekend, over the past 3 days actually, in Jaisalmer area. Now, remember, the cause of concern is that these birds could actually spread the flu to other animals. There's also been some worry because they found the dead carcass of a chinkara. That's also caused some worry, and also another bird. Now, the lab tests have confirmed bird flu. So, of course, there's an alert across Rajasthan because remember, these are, as I said, migratory birds. Now, Jaisalmer is also home to the Great Indian Bustard. There are only about 200 species of the Great Indian Bustard which are left really, and a majority of them are in Jaisalmer. And also, Sariska, Ranthambore, Ghana. This is the season when you have migratory birds coming and settling in these areas. So if there is an outbreak of H1N1 or bird flu, there is not only is there worry for poultry, because of course those farms have been alerted, but also for migratory birds. So across Rajasthan, places like Sariska, Ranthambore, Ghana, the bird sanctuary are all on alert. Definitely a cause of concern. Forest and wildlife teams are working overtime there to dispose of the carcasses and to contain the spread of bird flu.
Right, Raja, stay with us for our next story as well, coming out of Rajasthan as well. And there's been a rave party that has been busted in Udaipur, and many, boys and girls have been, in fact, involved in this rave party. Over $3,000 have been seized as well, and the cops that have busted this party. Get us details of how many girls, how many boys were at this rave party, and what all was found.
Well, yes, these are two separate incidents, and if I may just give you the details, like you were saying, these were two separate incidents in a little outside Udaipur. There's a place called Gogunda, and that's where this happened. Now, the police worked overtime. There were two teams which were formed by two DSPs, and about 40 police personnel worked on getting to the bottom of this racket. Now, outside Gogunda, outside Udaipur, at a place called Gogunda, there was two places. One was like a hotel, and another one was a farmhouse. And in two different incidents, in one place, 8 women and 10 men were found. This is, they believe it could be a prostitution racket. And then in another place, there were another 5 women which were found, and 10 youths. So these are two separate incidents, and that appears to be a rave party. Now, what is also worrying is that these people who were found, they are from Assam, Nepal. They're also from Delhi. So they're not local Rajasthani people. So this seems to be an organized racket, and that's what's worrying people, because remember, Udaipur is famous as a tourist destination, and they don't want these kind of activities to be happening there. This is not the kind of crowd that the police want to attract, and this seems to be, like I said, it seems to be an organized racket. So one, a rave party, and another where there seems to be a prostitution racket happening about 30 kilometers from Udaipur in two separate buildings. One appears to be a hotel, and the other some kind of a homestay or a farmhouse.
Right, thank you so much, Harsha, for joining us with those details regarding that rave party that has been busted by the police. NRIs were also involved. There was, of course, drugs that were involved at this rave. So the rave that has been busted in two different farmhouses, and there were many people involved in this. So the police there have, in fact, detained people from that party. 28 people in all have been arrested, including 10 girls. And let's just get you more as far as the man-animal conflict is concerned. On camera, an elephant chases a biker. This is a dramatic video from Wayanad, where the biker was with his wife and child and was being chased by an elephant. So another man-animal conflict that has been recorded on camera, in which a man who is seen riding his bike along with his family, that included his wife and his child, was then chased by this elephant. And in a chilling act of poaching, the carcass of a wild elephant was discovered. This is in a forest area under the Kalyanpur Forest Division in Tripura. The brutal killing has sparked outrage and deep concern amongst the officials and the locals there. The decomposing body of the elephant with severe marks was found on Sunday. Following the discovery, the senior forest officials and a large police team rushed to the site in the evening. A post-mortem was conducted and investigations are underway to track down the perpetrators. Initial findings reveal that the elephant was shot dead with bullet wounds found on both sides of its head. Poachers then severed many parts of its head and a rare leg, presumably to extract its valuable tusk. And with that, we're slipping into a very short break. Back with a whole lot more. Do stay with us.
Kind attention, please. Delhi Election Metro 2025 is arriving on People's Platform. Please mind the gap. BJP or AAP, who will get to the Delhi Secretariat station?
दरवाजे बाईं तरफ खुलेंगे.
Who will Delhi voters open the victory doors for? And who will be shown the door? Can the BJP throw AAP's victory run off track? Or will it be Kejriwal's ticket to win again? Can Congress take the election metro to revival? We will track it all for you. Delhi's decision destination.
Doors will open on the left.
Stay tuned to NDTV for mega metro poll coverage.
Well, I'm in Altadena. This is one of the worst hit areas. When disaster strikes, NDTV World brings you exclusive on-the-ground reports straight from the heart of the action.
A neighborhood in Los Angeles that has been devastated by fire.
I just received an emergency alert extreme, which has come on my phone. Stay tuned for NDTV World's in-depth coverage as we bring you the real stories from Los Angeles. This is the Altadena area, and there are still fires, and there's a lot of smoke in the area. These houses completely gutted. This is reporting that matters only on NDTV World.
I've been reporting reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
Mahakumbh, the festival of faith. The world's biggest spiritual festival. The divine dip at the spiritual Sangam. A sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
All set for Trump 2.0. Countdown to January 20th. Terror shadow, visa wars. All the twists and turns. Tracking Trump takeover. Every day at 10:30 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
Hello and welcome to the best of the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland.
For 2 decades, NDTV has been a window to the world's greatest thinkers, leaders, Nobel laureates and stars at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland.
From Bill Gates to Shakira to Randy Zuckerberg to top ministers to what is often the biggest story. India, a global economic powerhouse. Conversations around our greatest challenges from AI to wars to sustainability. Join us, NDTV's Vishnu Shom and me, Neeraj Shah, as we engage with the world's finest. NDTV at Davos from January 20th to January 25th.
Welcome back. Let's get you the latest from the United States. And it's Donald Trump, who's all set to become the 47th president of the United States. And just hours before he will be sworn into office, he's gone on to promise that he will be signing a host of executive orders that could be over 100. And this is on the very first day as he takes charge as the president, while celebrating at a victory rally. Trump has again said that he is going to make heads spin on the very first day as he takes charge as the president of the United States. What all can we expect today? Let's find out.
The weather may be freezing in Washington, but President-elect Trump is fired up. He said that he's preparing more than 100 executive orders for his first day in office in a show of force that will set the tone for the next 4 years. Many are likely to reflect his pledges to bolster immigration enforcement and improve border security. And in major metropolitan areas, immigration raids could begin almost immediately as he follows through on campaign promises to deport undocumented migrants. And those jailed for their part in the January 6th attack on the US Capitol will be awaiting word of potential pardons from the new president.
And world leaders will be watching to see if he begins executing his plans for tariffs, land grabs and ending wars. His inauguration ceremony will begin at 12 p.m. local time, but instead of the traditional ceremony on the steps of the US Capitol, it will take place inside the Capitol building because of these cold temperatures here in Washington. The guests include some of the richest and most powerful people in the world. Every living former president is set to witness Donald Trump's return to power. But some prominent Democrats, including former First Lady Michelle Obama and former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, are opting out. 3 of the world's wealthiest men will be there: Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg.
The courage to rise after every fall. I hope you learn this as you walk your paths. And I understand this well, because when I started my journey, I did not have a roadmap, resources, or connections. All I had was a dream to build something meaningful, something that could contribute to boosting my own confidence. I would dream of this every single day. And as I look back, I can say that dreams are not the privilege of the rich. They are the reward of those who dare to believe and have worked tirelessly. While the Adani Group is today India's fastest growing conglomerate and has set the pace to create more new businesses than any other business house in the country, our journey is not just about creating businesses. Every decision we made, every risk we took was driven by one goal. How can we create something that serves the greater good? It has been about having the courage to give wings to our dreams and tenacity to fly higher and faster than anybody else. It is about setting a benchmark not to measure against others, but to measure ourselves against our own capabilities. Therefore, my advice to the parents in this room: your children get more than just your wealth. They get your values. Equip them with a resilience, empathy, and the ability to serve others. Encourage them to explore, to innovate, to dream, but also give them the roots so they never forget the soil they came from. Teach them that success is not just about personal achievement, it is about creating a better world for others. Educate them that wherever life takes them, whether they choose to build their future here or abroad. They must carry the spirit of India with them. Allow them to be a global citizens, but teach them so that their hearts always beat for the nations we call our Matrubhumi. Parenting is not just about shaping your child's future. It is about inspiring them to shape the future of India. My advice to the educators here is that you are the creator of dreams. Every lesson you teach, every word of encouragement you give, shape the trajectory of a life. In today's fast-changing world, your role is more critical than ever. You are the compass that guides these young minds towards a future full of promise and purpose. I have always believed that a great teacher does not just prepare students and learners for exams. They prepare them for life. And for the students and learners here, don't let the walls of any classrooms define the limits of your dreams. The AI-infused world that we has no parallel in history, and the world will dramatically transform at a pace we comprehend. Let this classroom be the launch pad for your aspirations. Don't just absorb the knowledge. Let it ignite your imaginations and drive your ambitions. The facilities that you have here, use them wisely. As I shared earlier, when I started my journey, I did not have enough resources. Unlike those who face limitations, you have been granted an abundance of resources. Having more. It is about harnessing your privilege to create a future that benefits from your talents, your educations, your connections to make a positive impact.
They're addressing the students, saying that the teachers don't just prepare the students for an exam, but to take on life. And, that is what Gautam Adani has said while briefing the students, saying that students must carry the spirit of India. That is Gautam Adani's message to the students at Adani International. And that is what Gautam Adani of the Adani Group has to say in regard to, while briefing the students in regard to how teachers can shape the future of the students, and that is what they really have to do, is shape them and prepare them for life. And let's just get you the latest in regard to the inauguration ceremony that's going to be taking place of Donald Trump today in the evening. It's going to happen at about 10:30 p.m. Indian time. And it is the Foreign Minister, S. Jaishankar, who is in Washington in order to be participating in that inauguration ceremony. Do remember that he has met with his Australian counterpart and 3 Quad foreign ministers in the United States just ahead of the inauguration ceremony of the US President Donald Trump, which he will attend. He has gone on to say that it will have profound consequence when it comes to the global order. We have Vishal joining us. Vishal, of course, S. Jaishankar has spelled out some of the challenges and opportunities that India could face over the next 4 years. And this is because of the incoming administration of Donald Trump that could really impact India, particularly when it comes to trade and immigration routes.
That's correct. So all eyes are on Jaishankar now because he is set to meet the next incoming Secretary of State of the US, which is most likely Marco Rubio, who will be sworn in Tuesday morning India time. So all eyes will be on that meeting, and also there could be a meeting of the Quad. Quad is the nation of India, Japan, Australia, and the US. There could be a meeting on those lines as well. So these different meetings will happen in the wake of the inauguration. So we all know that Jaishankar is there to attend the meet and to take India's cause to the US. And there have been several reports that say that the Trump administration, the incoming Trump administration, is interested in taking the India-US ties to the next level. That is what the reports are saying. And people in the Trump administration, they have instructed Marco Rubio, who I mentioned is expected to be the Secretary of State. He has been instructed that he needs to take care of Jaishankar when he comes in. I mean, there should be a meeting between both the leaders, and the ties will have to be discussed. And what happens, it remains to be seen. But these are some positive signs. Nothing official about them. These are all reports coming in. But these are some positive signs for India. And it will be interesting to see what Trump says regarding India's ties.
Right. Thank you so much, Vishal, for joining us with those details. With that, we're slipping a short break. Back with a whole lot more. Stay with us.
We are able to maintain the democratic fabric and the democratic system.
I want to do something that can make a difference.
लगातार जनता की आवाज को सरकार तक पहुंचाने का काम मैं करता हूं.
I was a student up until very recently. I really want to work and do something for my people because they have given me this opportunity. They have elected me.
सोचा नहीं था कि राज्यसभा सांसद बनूंगी.
Mahakumbh, the festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at the spiritual Sangam, a sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
Well, I'm in Altadena. This is one of the worst hit areas. When disaster strikes, NDTV World brings you exclusive on-the-ground reports straight from the heart of the action.
A neighborhood in Los Angeles that has been devastated by fire.
I just received an emergency alert extreme, which has come on my phone. Stay tuned for NDTV World's in-depth coverage as we bring you the real stories from Los Angeles. This is the Altadena area and there are still fires and there's a lot of smoke in the area. These houses completely gutted. This is reporting that matters only on NDTV World.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
Mahakumbh, the festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at the spiritual sangam, a sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.
All set for Trump 2.0. Countdown to January 20th. Terror shadow, visa wars. All the twists and turns. Tracking Trump takeover. Every day at 10:30 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
Hello and welcome to the best of the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. For 2 decades, NDTV has been a window to the world's greatest thinkers, leaders, Nobel laureates and stars at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland.
From Bill Gates to Shakira to Randy Zuckerberg to top ministers to what is often the biggest story. India, a global economic powerhouse. Conversations around our greatest challenges, from AI to wars to sustainability.
A very good afternoon. You're watching NDTV 24/7. Let's just get you the latest as far as Saif Ali Khan's attack case is concerned. The suspect is expected to be taken to the residence of the actor, and the actor is getting discharged from the Lilavati hospital. That is the news that we have for you at this point in time, that the actor is going to be discharged any moment now. The paperwork is going on. Do remember, it is a family that's come out and said that he's recovering well, and he has been in the hospital, at the Lilavati hospital, for the last 5 days. Do remember, he was taken in the wee hours of Thursday morning when that attacker that resulted in the actor sustaining injuries in several places, including his spine. Very close to his spine is where he got injured. So there were 6 injuries in all, with which the actor reached the Lilavati hospital in an auto rickshaw with his son Taimur at about 3 o'clock in the morning. At about 5:30 is when they started with the surgeries for the actor. Do remember, there were 2 surgeries. One was neurosurgery, followed by plastic surgery that had to be performed on the actor, and the actor has spent 5 days in the Lilavati hospital. But from what we're hearing is there's good news now that the actor is going to be discharged in the case. The actor is all set to be discharged from the hospital, and it is at the same time, I mean, of course, questions being raised as to where is it that the actor will be going from the Lilavati hospital, because his house is still under investigation in regard to that recreating of the crime scene. So it is the accused, the suspect in the case, who has been nabbed by the Mumbai police late on Saturday night. He is now going to be taken in to recreate the crime scene to that Sadhguru Sharan building where the actor lives with his wife Kareena Kapoor and his 2 sons. I do remember that the Mumbai police only has 5 days custody, which started yesterday. So the Mumbai police there that cracked the whip, and it was a UPI payment that led the police to the attacker in Mumbai. He did make a payment of a paratha and a bottle of water in Mumbai, and that really is what led the police to him. Let's just listen into what Saif Ali Khan has to say about her brother Saif Ali Khan.
First, that we're very, very happy that he's recovering well, and we're very thankful, and we feel very blessed and grateful that it wasn't any worse. And thank you for all your wishes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
More on this, we have my colleague Anuj joining us, as well as Abira joining us from outside the Lilavati hospital. Anuj, over to you first. We are expecting that the actor is going to be discharged any minute now, but really the question being, where is he going to go? Because the matter is still being investigated, and that the actor perhaps will not be able to go home because the attacker is supposedly going to be at the residence today, and that's where they're going to be recreating the crime scene.
Although the police has given hints about how the recreation of the scene might take place anytime today, it has not been confirmed yet, which is why if Saif is, discharged from the hospital in the next few hours, in all likeliness he will come here and the recreation might as well take place in his presence. But that is for later to see. The reason why the police is stressing so much on the recreation of the scene is because, when you look at this particular locality, this building has got 2 to 3 main entrances with very few cameras scattered to different areas. There are also long trees by all the 3 sides of this particular building, and the accused here has stated that he used the AC duct to make his way to the top floor, that is the 12th floor, to enter Saif Ali Khan's house. The police wants to have a better idea about how is it that Mohammad Shehzad entered Saif Ali Khan's house in the middle of the night, and what were the security lapses that would have taken place back then, and that is the primary concern of the police at the moment, which is why recreation of the scene becomes such an important point. At the same time, they're also looking at the Bangladeshi angle very closely, because we saw that yesterday when the police was seeking for a 14-day police custody, one thing that they were stressing on a lot was the associates with with the particular accused here in Mumbai who helped him to find a job with the contractor who did not even demand for the proper documentation, which is why the arena of this case is also kind of expanding, and everyone who was involved with this particular individual in the last 5 to 6 months, that is from September 2024 till yesterday, is under the radar of the police and has been questioned thoroughly, because this also comes in line with the ongoing operation by the Mumbai police and by the Maharashtra police, along with, of course, the ATS, to have a very heavy crackdown on the illegal Bangladeshi immigrants. So all of these things coming together poses a very important challenge in front of the Mumbai police, where they will be looking at multiple angles very closely. But as of now, what remains their priority is to understand how is it that Mohammad Shariful Islam made his way to the 12th floor of this very posh locality here in Bandra.
All right, Anuj, of course, let's just get a word from Abira. Abira, do you have any inkling as to when is it that the actor will finally get discharged from the Lilavati hospital? We do know it's going to be happening anytime soon, and the family members have started to arrive, including his mother, Sharmila Tagore.
Yes, it's a ritual for Sharmila Tagore to come in every day in the morning. She's here all day, and makes sure she leaves by evening. So she's by Saif's side throughout the day. Today also she's inside. We have heard that he'll get discharged today, but all the formalities takes a lot of time, and discharge doesn't happen anytime after 6 p.m. So we have to wait and watch. Do they able to finish the formalities before 6 p.m. so that he can leave. But he's also a VIP, so maybe exception can be made on for him. So we have to wait and watch when when the doctors decide to discharge him today. And the doctors have not spoken to us or told us anything about his discharge yet here at Lilavati.
Right, so Saif Ali Khan expected to be discharged today, and of course, Abira, the big question being that once he gets discharged, where is he going to be headed? We do know that Kareena Kapoor has been staying with her sister all this while since the incident took place, that unfortunate, very shocking incident that took place at their residence. So, any word on where Saif Ali Khan could be going after he gets discharged?
He has a lot of other places to go to. He has a sister who stays here. He has other houses here. So it's not like Saif Ali Khan has only one house here. So he can go to any of his houses in Bandra only. He has a sister as well as a sister-in-law. Like you said, Kareena has been staying with Karishma since the incident happened, because it has been very traumatizing for the kids as well as for her. So we have to wait and watch what the family decides and where do they take him.
Right, Abira, all eyes on the actor getting discharged today from the Lilavati hospital, and Anuj with us. Anuj, when we talk about the investigation, of course, it was a UPI payment that really led to the attacker being caught. Take us through what really happened here. We do know that in record time, the Mumbai police finally managed to nab the guy. There were other people who were taken in for questioning, but finally they did catch the person who's gone on to admit, he has gone on to say on record that it was him who actually did it.
You know, in the wee hours of January 16th, when this incident took place, from then till yesterday morning, it was close to 70 to 80 hours. And that is the amount of time taken by Mumbai police to zero down on the prime accused. You know, meanwhile, they did have several suspects, you know, who were interrogated either in Mumbai, Maharashtra, or some even outside, as we saw RPF get hold of an individual in Raipur. But then it is very interesting how they got hold of the primary accused. Firstly, we saw that a CCTV footage was out, you know, from Saif's building, which was able to help the police at least get a sense of direction, you know, to put their investigation into. They looked at all the important stations and CCTV camera footage of not just 2 to 3 days before the incident took place, but even 10 to 15 days ago. And that is where they first spotted the accused on the 9th of January in DN Nagar, Andheri, right? And from the bike details that they got through the CCTV footage, they were able to, you know, zero down on the owner of the bike, and that made it easy from them to get contact of the individual in question, that is the accused here. What we know is that after the incident took place on the 16th, the attacker did not really panic, right? But he very smartly tried his best to kind of run away from the police. That was by changing his location every time and again, and also by changing his names, right? When we saw that when he was caught by the police, he was trying to, get an upper hand over them by lying about his name. And we also know that when he was working at different places in the last 5 to 6 months, even then he was using multiple names. Now, was it because he always knew that such a situation was going to come and the police was always going to be behind him, which is why was he creating a safe space for himself? Well, that will become clear once the investigation, you know, is in the latter stage. But when the incident took place on the 16th, he went from Bandra to Dadar to Worli, then to Andheri, and then to Thane, where he was finally caught near the Hiranandani estates, which is again another affluent area in the Thane city next to Mumbai, where he was, where he was hiding himself in the bushes. We also know that the police, which had formed multiple teams to nab this particular individual, was very closely looking at the Hiranandani estates and places close by, because they had gotten hints about this individual working for a pub and also for a housekeeping agency. That is when, when they were inching closer to this particular individual with the help of the mobile location, which they had received because of the biker that they had got hold of earlier, and also because of the people with whom he stayed in his Worli residence. It became easy for the police, to at least go closer to him, where eventually it was the GPay payment made by him on the day of the attack, to get himself some breakfast and some water, that eventually helped the police, zero down on the actual location of this particular accused.
Right, it was a paratha and a bottle of water that really gave away his location, and the significance as far as that UPI transaction is concerned in cracking this case, and how it reflects the role of digital payments in modern investigations. Thank you so much, Abira and Anuj, for joining us. We will keep tracking the story and coming back to you for more on that. So the good news is that the actor is going to be discharged today, anytime now, and of course, at the same time, the police, they're investigating the matter and perhaps going to be recreating that crime scene at the residence of the actor. Moving on now to the sentencing of Sanjay Roy in the RG Kaur Medical College and Hospital rape and murder case is set for the announcement as far as the quantum of punishment is concerned. Do remember the Kolkata court had pronounced the quantum, will be pronouncing that quantum of punishment in minutes from now, and that is what is expected. He is a civic volunteer, Sanjay Roy, who was convicted of raping and murdering a trainee doctor at the RG Kaur Medical College and Hospital in August of last year. While the family of the victim continues to claim that there were more people involved, and they repeatedly said that this could have been not a one-person's job. The mother of the woman doctor says that this case is not complete. It will only be completed after the others who were involved in the killing of our daughter are punished. So this is what they have said. And they are saying that they're waiting for justice and they will not be able to sleep till justice is served. So the judgment that was pronounced on the 18th of this month, nearly 2 months after the in-camera trial that commenced in November of last year and 162 days after the heinous crime was committed on the 9th of August. So, of course, what is really being said is that there were more people involved, is what the family is alleging, and that is exactly what is really being said, that, there has to be investigation that needs to be carried out in order to find more people who could perhaps be involved. Let's listen into what the CPIM has to say.
जब सब लोग मान रहे हैं कि ये मामला एक जन का नहीं है, और फिर जब जो ममता बनर्जी अभिषेक कहा कि पहले दिन ही गोली मार दो, संजय को फांसी दे दो, एनकाउंटर में मार दो, तो फिर ये नौटंकी की जरूरत क्या थी? हजारों लोग, लाखों लोग, महिलाएं खास करके बंगाल में, पूरे देश में, पूरे विश्व में सड़क में उतरे इंसाफ के लिए। ये सियालदा कोर्ट से लोगों को इंसाफ नहीं मिला, चूंकि सीबीआई आगे नहीं बढ़ी।
Well, the sentencing in the RG Kaur Medical College and Hospital rape and murder case takes place this afternoon, and obviously, all preparations for the sentencing as well. Security in court as the accused will be brought in and presented before the court. The court will hear arguments on the quantum of punishment before, sentencing the convict in this case. The convict Sanjay Roy, who was the only accused in this case. In the evidence gathered by the Kolkata police and of course presented by the CBI in the charge sheet as well. He's the sole accused, even though there have been allegations from various quarters, including the family members of the victim and of course political parties as well, that there could be the involvement of others and that, that there is a possible cover-up as well. However, the evidence in the public domain, the evidence presented in the charge sheet so far does not support such, claims. And the evidence seems to be suggesting that Sanjay Roy, the convict in the case, was the sole perpetrator of the crime, and he will be sentenced today. And the prosecution, of course, will move for the death penalty, which is the maximum punishment in this case, arguing that the case falls into the rarest of rare categories given the heinous, brutal and horrific nature of this case. Now, this case has been heard in a fast-track court in camera, which means that the public and apart from those associated with the case, did not have access to the courtroom. However, the verdict, the announcement of the verdict did take place in an open court, and the judge fixed the date for sentencing today, and this afternoon, of course, the sentencing will take place, even as the accused maintains that he is being framed. And he also mentioned in court that one IPS knows everything, but he's not being allowed to speak, following which the court said the court would hear him again on Monday. So obviously today that sentencing will take place here at the Sialda court, where the case has been heard in a fast-track manner. The charge sheet was filed in November, and of course the horrific, brutal crime took place in August. In little more than 2 months, the trial has been completed, and the sentencing will take place today after the conviction of Sanjay Roy in this horrific, brutal rape and murder at the RG Kaur Medical College and Hospital that took place on Saturday. Of course, the conviction, and today, of course, the sentencing will take place, with the prosecution demanding the maximum punishment, which is the death penalty for the convict.
And the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party are at it again with new posters. It's the BJP's Ghoshna Mantri Jai versus it is the Aam Aadmi Party asking as to who really is the groom when it comes to the wedding procession. They're obviously referring to the BJP's choice when it comes to the chief ministerial face in the upcoming elections of the national capital. So they're really, throwing in those jibes at the BJP for not really announcing the chief ministerial face when it comes to the BJP for the elections that are coming up in about 2 weeks time from now on the 5th of February. We have Ishika joining us. Ishika, take us to the very latest.
Well, yes, in fact, Divya, as you rightly mentioned, we are seeing that the poster war between both the parties have only escalated now. Today, we are seeing yet another posters has been released by both the parties. If we talk about, first about the BJP poster, or rather, in fact, what we are showing our viewers, the Aam Aadmi Party poster, there they have attacked, the BJP for not having a chief ministerial face. Now, this is not a new taunt by the Aam Aadmi Party to the BJP. Since the very start of the campaigning of this election, the Aam Aadmi Party has been attacking BJP over having no chief ministerial candidate against Arvind Kejriwal. Now, in response, BJP maintains that, except with the exceptions of 2 to 3 states, the BJP generally does not release any chief ministerial candidate. Now, on the other hand, if we talk about the BJP poster that has been released, now they, in fact, have called Arvind Kejriwal as Ghoshna Mantri in their latest poster. Now, if we talk about, what is this Ghoshna Mantri? Now, the BJP in the poster has specified saying that, Arvind Kejriwal, every day after waking up, he decides to make a fake poll promise. Now, despite, not showing the report card of all the promises that he made in the last election that he has not been able to fulfill. So certainly now the poster war only escalating, and it will continue to do so because the election is just around the corner.
Right. Thank you so much, Ishika. We will keep coming back to you for more on that. Moving on now to Uttarakhand, that is all set to implement the UGC. We're talking about this is, as far as the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand is concerned, Pushkar Singh Dhami announced the implementation as far as the UCC, that is the Uniform Civil Code, that is going to start this month. The state has completed all kind of preparations, including a dedicated portal and mobile application for online services. The state has done its homework, is what Dhami had to say for the implementation. He's also gone on to say that Uttarakhand will become the country's first state to implement the UCC after independence. He instructed the officials to ensure there's proper training as far as the personnel are concerned, besides arranging all kind of basic facilities to implement the provision of the code. And he's also asked the officials to keep the maximum services online in order to avoid the chances of inconvenience for the public. Let's listen in.
हमने ये वायदा किया था कि हम सबसे पहले सरकार बनने के बाद पहला काम करेंगे, यूसीसी का विधेयक लाएंगे। हम यूसीसी का विधेयक लेकर आए और उस पर सभी ड्राफ्ट कमेटी ने ड्राफ्ट बनाया, विधेयक पास हुआ, राष्ट्रपति महोदय की मंजूरी मिल गई, एक्ट बन गया। एक्ट बनने के बाद प्रशिक्षण की जो प्रक्रिया है वह भी हमारी लगभग पूरी हो गई है और आज माननीय मंत्रिमंडल में इस बात पर हमने चर्चा करी है कि जल्दी से जल्दी हम उसका डेटों का चूँकि सारी तैयारी होने के बाद, क्योंकि भारतवर्ष में सबसे पहले यूसीसी लागू करने वाला राज्य देवभूमि उत्तराखंड बनने जा रहा है, तो सभी चीज़ों की समीक्षा करने के बाद हम जल्दी ही डेटों का ऐलान करेंगे।
And of course, it is the Uttarakhand cabinet that has approved the manual for the Uniform Civil Code in the state during the meeting chaired by the Chief Minister. Following the approval, he has gone on to promise that this was something that was promised back in 2022 and has now it is going to finally be fulfilled. So that is what Pushkar Singh Dhami has said. Of course, that announcement as far as the date is concerned is going to be coming about soon. But there, UCC implementation as far as the state of Uttarakhand is concerned, and Pushkar Singh Dhami said they're saying that it will be the Uttarakhand government that has gone ahead and approved this in the cabinet meeting, and that is when now they are going to be coming up with the date, and the state is completely gearing up as far as that date is concerned, and that date will be shared very, very soon. Kishore joining us. Kishore, so that announcement, the much awaited announcement when it comes to the implementation of UCC, that is something that can be expected very soon, is what the Chief Minister of the state, Pushkar Singh Dhami, had to say, and this is after getting that nod in the cabinet.
बिल्कुल यूसीसी कानून जो है वो 26 जनवरी को पूरे उत्तराखंड में लागू किया जा सकता है, ऐसी जो जानकारी मिल रही है। इस वजह यही है कि इसको लेकर जो नियमावली थी उसको भी कैबिनेट ने मंजूरी दे दी, और इससे पहले भी मार्च के जो कैबिनेट में जो विधानसभा सेशन हुआ था उसमें भी कानून को मंजूरी दे दी थी। उसके अलावा राज्यपाल और राष्ट्रपति ने भी इसने अपनी मोहर लगा दी थी। तो कुल मिलाकर यूसीसी कानून पूरी तरह से तैयार है, उसकी नियमावली पूरी तरह से तैयार है। अब ये डेट डिसाइड होनी है कि इसे कब लागू करना है। दरअसल 28 जनवरी को प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी उत्तराखंड में 38वें नेशनल गेम का उद्घाटन करने आ रहे हैं। तो ऐसे में बीजेपी सरकार उनको एक तोहफा देना चाहती है, इसलिए 26 जनवरी एक ऐसा समय है जिसे लागू किया जा सकता है। अभी फिलहाल डेट डिसाइड नहीं है, लेकिन जल्द इसको लागू कर दिया जाएगा। और जनवरी के मुख्यमंत्री पुष्कर सिंह धामी ने पहले कह दिया था कि 2025 की जनवरी को इसको लागू किया जाएगा। आज की बैठक में इसको सम्मति से मंजूरी दे दी है। जो नियमावली है, इसके रूल और रेलिगेशन है कि किस धारा के अंतर्गत कौन सा नियम लागू होगा, कैसे इसको जो, क्योंकि कानून बन जाता है तो कानून के बनने के बाद सबसे महत्वपूर्ण होता है उसका रूल एंड रेगुलेशन कि किस नियम के तहत ये पूरा कानून चलेगा। उसको लेकर आज मंजूरी मिल गई है। अब ये देखना है कि कब डेट डिसाइड होती है कि उत्तराखंड में इसको लागू किया जाएगा। जी
Right, Kishore, thank you so much for getting us all those details. Let's just switch tracks now. As many as 58 people, including 6 minors, have been arrested in Kerala's shocking case of sexual abuse over 5 years of a minor girl who happens to be an athlete. So this is a very shocking case that has come to light of as many as 58 people, including 6 minors, who have been arrested in Kerala's Pathanamthittas. This is the sexual abuse case when she was 13 years of age, that has carried on for the last 5 years, is the claim that is being made by the athlete. And the survivor is undergoing counseling that has been arranged by the CWC. So this is, you know, we have Uma joining us. Uma, get us all the details that you have for us in this case. Who all have been arrested and, you know, in the case, who all have been detained, including, you know, minors who are involved in this case?
Yes, indeed. I spoke to the Pathanamthitta SP, Mr. Vinod, and he has said that 60 people have been identified as accused in Pathanamthitta. About 30 cases have been registered, which means 30 FIRs have been registered. And out of the 60 people, in a matter of few days, 58 people have been arrested. This would include about 6 minors who have also been taken into custody. Of course, technically that is not an arrest, but they have also indulged in the sexual assault of this girl. There is also another case that is in fact happened in Thiruvananthapuram involving the same girl. This girl had gone for an event to Thiruvananthapuram. As we mentioned, she has been an athlete and she had gone for an event to Thiruvananthapuram, where we are told that again 2 people had assaulted her, sexually abused her, and therefore those 2 people have also been arrested. As you mentioned, this entire episode, horror rather, has happened between 2014 to 2019, and what we understand, from the age of 14 years to about the age of 18 years. Now she's 18 years in a few months is what the SP told me, and from 2019 onwards is when this has happened. And the last case that happened was in November of 2024. That is the last recorded case that the police has in its records now, based on the statements that were given by this girl. Of course, her parents are both are daily wage laborers, and they seem to have been quite oblivious to what happened. The police has found corroborative evidence in the form of the cellular digital evidence in the mobile phone that the girl was using, through which she was in fact solicited or coerced or made to indulge in these kind of activities. It of course began with a neighbor who was some kind of a mentor, sports mentor for her, who had lured her into sexual activity when she was about 14 years of age, and subsequently we are being told that he had used the video and photographs of that time to blackmail her, and the net just grew. And shockingly, it's not just the sports trainers, people in the neighborhood, as well as fellow athletes who had exploited this girl, and also her own classmates. It was after a teacher had alerted about the entire happenings that the Child Welfare Committee came into play, and that is when this entire horrific saga was revealed and came to be known to the police and authorities. Back to you.
Right, Uma, stay with us for our next story as well, and that is again a very shocking incident that's come to light due to this CCTV footage where a middle-aged farmer has died by suicide due to alleged harassment by bank officials over alleged loan repayment. That heart-wrenching CCTV video of the farmer's suicide in the erstwhile Adilabad district has triggered widespread outrage as far as the governance is concerned. So the opposition there really up in arms and hitting out at the Congress party over this alleged suicide of the farmer. Uma, what details do you have for us? Uma, get us details of this very heart-wrenching video on our screens that's playing out of this farmer who's died by suicide because of the alleged harassment by bank officials. And of course, it is the opposition up in arms hitting out at the Congress governance in the state.
Yes, indeed. The BRS working president, Mr. K.T. Ramarao, has tweeted out this video of this farmer inside a bank. And the allegation there is that because the Congress has failed to fulfill its promises and failed to address the distress that farmers are feeling in the state of Telangana. And that's the reason why they say this farmer also had resorted to suicide, death by suicide. And Harish Rao, who is of course another senior BRS leader and former finance minister, he has in fact said more than 400 farmers have died by suicide in the last 1 year of the Congress rule. And the BRS has been arguing time and again that not just the loan waiver has not been fulfilled. They say the Raitu Bharosa, which was again one of the guarantees that was given by the Congress in the run-up to the state elections here, even that has not been fulfilled. The amount of 15,000 that was promised to the farmers, that has been scaled down. And they say that in no area at all, that is a claim of the BRS, that in no area at all there has been 10% fulfillment of this promise to the farmers of the farmer assistance amount that the government had said they would be giving, that the Congress chief minister had claimed he would be giving. The BRS has been saying that it is in order to divert the attention of the people away from the failure to fulfill their promises, that they were in fact targeting Harish Rao or K.T. Ramarao. And KTR in fact had said that even the Formula E case has been played up, or rather cases were booked only in order to divert the attention and to in a sense silence the voice of the opposition. The government on its part has said the case of Rathod Gokul, who had died in Adilabad and whose footage we are seeing in the CCTV footage inside the bank, that he had in fact died due to, they say, a domestic dispute with his wife, that he had been drinking, and there was of course outstanding loans. But yes, they say that it is because of some kind of a dispute that happened in the family that he had died. Of course, this will be subject to more investigation and there is going to be more commissions as well. But as of now, news that is just coming in also suggests that in Nagar Karnool, farmers who were protesting, they were taken into custody, rounded up by the police and not allowed to protest there. And once again, the BRS is claiming that this is an attempt by the Congress government to silence the voice of the farmers. Of course, the union budget is also coming up, and of course, agriculture is something that is in the state list. But farmers talking about MSP and talking about the kind of assistance that they should receive, and also crop insurance is something that is an ask for the farmers, not just in Telangana but across the country. Back to you.
Right. Thank you so much, Uma, for getting us all those details. Now switching tracks to Rajasthan and the bird flu alert in Rajasthan, in which the death of migratory birds has now increased. The death toll has gone up to 32, and there's advisory that's been put out as far as water ponds are concerned in order to protect the species. There's an alert that's going on in the state of Rajasthan, and measures are being taken in order to curb the spread as far as the state is concerned. My colleague Harsha has the details.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, it's a huge source of worry because, these demoiselle cranes are migratory birds and they have been found dead over the weekend, over the past 3 days actually, in Jaisalmer area. Now, remember, the cause of concern is that these birds could actually spread the flu to other animals. There's also been some worry because they found the dead carcass of a chinkara. That's also caused some worry, and also another bird. Now, the lab tests have confirmed bird flu. So, of course, there's an alert across Rajasthan because remember, these are, as I said, migratory birds. Now, Jaisalmer is also home to the great Indian bustard. There are only about 200 species of the great Indian bustard which are left really, and a majority of them are in Jaisalmer. And also, Sariska, Ranthambore, Ghana. This is the season when you have migratory birds coming and settling in these areas. So if there is an outbreak of H1N1 or bird flu, there is not only is there worry for poultry, because of course those farms have been alerted, but also for migratory birds. So across Rajasthan, places like Sariska, Ranthambore, Ghana, the bird sanctuary are all on alert. Definitely a cause of concern. Forest and wildlife teams are working overtime there to dispose of the carcasses and to contain the spread of bird flu.
Right, Harsha, stay with us for our next story as well, and that is in regard to two incidents that have been reported in Udaipur, in which 28 people have been arrested, including 10 girls. There is a rave